I got another computer going too, so I'm gonna do this one.
Ooh, look at you, fancy.
Oh, fancy now.
Very fancy. All right.
Très fancy.
All right, hold on. It looks like it's okay. We got a preview. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Tech Talk episode. Well, we don't really keep track of that anymore.
Episode today.
Episode today. So
the Tech Talk foreign correspondent AuxxZillary is reporting in.
That's it. Is man about town, man on the scene.
Yeah. So you may notice that AuxxZillary is using a new technology to do background replacement.
It's amazing
in real time. Yeah, it's like I don't know. That looks a lot like. Is that the Mexico background?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I'm using an Unreal virtual what is the virtual production like studio kind of thing.
It looks so real, man. I'd almost believe you were there. Yeah,
it's a 4K textures.
Can we get a weather? Can we get a weather update from that hemisphere?
Warm.
Yeah. Oh, and you got
look at that nice.
That's so nice. We've got COVID and cold. It's really nice. It's great.
Yeah. So AuxxZillary is going to be joining us for a little while today. He was supposed to be out on vacation, but he realized he's got some badass 4G LTE down there in the Mexico. So now we've got David, our correspondent from Canada.
Yeah,
I'll be your
Hi, I'll be your correspondent from hell.
There you go. I'll be your only vaccinated correspondent from Washington State, United States. Yeah, I got my second shot yesterday, dude. Or day before yesterday.
Double vax good.
Yep, and then we got old Ox down there, and he's protected from the COVID by his beard because it filters all particles just like a
Nothing
mask.
can get through that. Nothing can get through it. It just gets distracted on the way into his mouth and his nose.
Actually, you know what'd be funny, Ox? You should do a video where you just put a rubber band around your head and hold your beard up like that, and then test and see how much particles come out when you sneeze and stuff, and compare it to like a cheap mask.
I'm sure. I think I've worn masks that would be less effective.
I have not seen that video. It would be viral, dude. That would be a video that would launch your channel with like 10 million views in a week. If you just did
building computers in no time.
Yeah, just do a bunch of tests. Yeah, just like do tests with get like a really bright light and like sneeze through it and like so you can see the particles in like slow motion on your phone or something.
There you go.
It'd be funny.
Team up with the slow-mo guys.
I freaked my kid out the other day. I did one of those little those Petri dish things where you do the agar stuff, and I dipped his finger in it, and then I made him wash his hands and dip the other side. Yeah,
I know the results are gross, man.
Oh man, and like you're basically growing poisons. Like that's whatever's growing there is just. Yeah,
I know. Every time somebody does one of these little experiments at their house, it's like you're literally intentionally like culturing and growing things that you really don't want growing that well.
Yep. That's why I said don't open it and have a look.
Yeah, it's like you look into it and you're like, wow, I just grew like what's that, botulism or whatever.
Yeah, or salmonella.
Yeah, or salmonella, and you're like, yeah, normally it'd grow to like a microscopic size. But
meet my new friends.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I dropped the Petri dish. Sorry. Oh, let me just inhale that. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm
my Bluetooth.
I'm tweeting out.
So you should tell people where you are.
Yeah, let's get.
Oh, I'm in Cancun.
He's in the Cancun.
And you're just kicking back, or what do you like? What's your like a resort?
Much. Yeah. We're at Villa del Palmar, kind of toward the north side of Cancun, as I understand it.
Nice.
Now
it's gorgeous.
Somebody's gonna find your resort and kill you now.
I just want to remind you, I'm supposed to be the fucking famous Lifestyles, the rich and famous guy. Okay, so could you like stop stepping on my toes here? I'm supposed to be calling live from my set location in Cancun. You know,
I know you're literally like you look like you're in your mom's basement, and Ox is down there.
I'm basically in my mom's basement. Exactly. Yeah.
Dude, that used to be a running joke on my channel.
You look like you're in your mom's basement.
No, it's funny. It's funny you say that because, like, actually, that was the joke a long time ago. Is people would just leave in my comments, be like, "Dude, you're just a rich kid that lives in your mom's basement or whatever." And I'm like, I have vaulted ceilings. When was the last time you've been? It was when I did a room tour. When was the last time you've been in a room of vaulted ceilings that was underground? Like there are no subterranean rooms with vaulted ceilings.
One of my favorite renovation guys. Whoa!
What was that?
That is so weird.
Oh, we're getting feedback through your phone there, Ox.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, turn down the volume just a little bit. It's mic canceling.
No, just caught for that reason for some reason. Just that one thing got it for some reason.
Maybe it just got really loud or the wind hit it and just pitch changed it enough. Because it's basically actively filtering out the microphone.
It was like someone who sounded exactly like me was talking to a loudspeaker in Cancun.
I know. I felt like you were like in an F-16 getting ready to engage some aliens. It's like Fox One, Fox One.
Cover me, I'm going in. No, like one of my favorite renovation guys, Mike Holmes, was texting the other day and said, like, what is I don't really understand. What is an influencer? And I said, well, it's basically someone who's famous for making videos from their parents' basement, basically.
Oh my God, that's going to trigger so many people.
I'm sure there'll be a few triggers on that, but it's not entirely wrong. Certainly everyone my son watches is still living at home. True, and then doing videos on the freaking Teslas they just bought or whatever.
All right, there we go. I just sent out everything that I was supposed to do.
I'm
like
just
5
jealous.
minutes ago.
I think I did a tweet, but I just tweeted to the actual channel.
Yeah, why don't you have a Tesla yet, David? What's up with that, man? Like being the nerd.
My son's bugging me about it.
You should
I was like,
get
yeah,
one.
He's got to become a famous YouTuber so he can afford it first.
Well, you can actually justify it with the COVID pandemic because you can get them with HEPA filtration systems that are rated for biological organisms.
So I could just go and sit in the thing with my little petri dish of my son's hand clippings or whatever the hell it is. No, I've actually been looking at my father's just got the Ford Escape plug-in hybrid, which he loves.
I didn't even know they had one.
Yeah, it's like new this year, and it's so you can either plug it in to charge it, or it charges while you drive. It just like that seems like the best of all worlds to me.
Oh wait, everybody's
it's
complaining.
got a heads-up display.
Wait, everybody's still complaining about audio. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Let me unmute the stream for a second here. About audio. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Let me unmute the stream for a second here. About audio. Sorry. No, it seems all right. Maybe they're just delayed and they're picking up that thing that happened to you like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that's possible.
All right, never mind. I just want to make sure. I saw a bunch of people going, "Oh my God, my eardrums blew out." I'm like, "Oh God, is it still happening?" No, we're good. We're good. Audio's good.
Elsa. So Elsa, who's here right now,
Let it go.
she is our newest tech bandit from Sweden.
You got a tech bandit from Sweden?
From Sweden. She joined us from Sweden. She was watching like Atlantis, and then I guess looked me up, saw that I was doing this stuff, and so she's now like our latest Swedish. She's our correspondent from Sweden.
Awesome. Well, I just told everybody on the Twitch stream the other day. I was like, I still hasn't quite hit me yet. It's like every Saturday I get to hang out with like the dude I watched on TV for like 10 years, or that I get drunk texted by like one of the characters of like Trailer Park Boys. Like, oh my gosh. It's hilarious. Like, so
you get the drunk text?
Yeah. Trinity messaged me last night. She's like, dude, we need to go get some mani-pedis. And she ended up having me on the phone as the wrong person.
Oh no.
But it was awesome. So I just sent her a picture of me like in bed next to Miss Barnacules, like shirtless, waving at her. And I said, "We're still on for those mani-pedis, right?" And she's like, "Oh God." She's like, "Sure, where you at?"
What have I done? Paws and claws. I call them paws and claws when my wife goes and gets them done.
Yeah, somebody said they can't hear Aux. Is that because you're muting when you're not talking?
I muted myself for a bit.
Oh, gotcha. Good. Dude, I keep seeing a bunch of like beautiful people walking behind you down there.
It's super windy here, so I think part of it is it might be catching the mic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the hurricane rolling in, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh yeah, Hant actually made a good point in chat. He said, and you get replies from Luke Skywalker on Twitter.
Oh, there you go. That's true.
I actually I saved old Mark Hamill from the BitClout scam. I was quite proud of myself. Ooh. I was able to alert him to the use of his likeness to create a coin that they sold somewhere to the order of like $20,000 or $30,000 worth. Whoa. And he was pretty pissed off about that. So he tweeted out to about 5 million people yesterday, retweeted my tweet that I sent to him and said, "This is a total fucking scam. Stay away." Unfortunately, I couldn't get to Dane Cook in time. I love Dane Cook. He's an amazing comic, but he got sucked in by it. So he's he can't do nothing for that. But
so what happened to Dane Cook then?
So Dane Cook basically just got sucked into the coin parking scam, which is basically they used his likeness, they cloned his Twitter profile, they sold tens of thousands of dollars of coins, and they actually bought the majority of them themselves because they wanted to make sure that they ran it up to its top value. And then when they went public, they allowed people to trade his coins without ever notifying him or anything. And so he already has a super active coin. And then people are messaging him going, "Dude, you got to come to the platform, because if he comes to the platform and you bought his coin value goes up. Therefore, you make money by harassing Dane Cook." They went and harassed him. He's like, "Okay, I'm in." He went and signed up to the site and started promoting it on Twitter and everything. And by that time, I'd gotten to him, and he came back and he said, "Most things I've invested in my life are a scam, but I'm just going to ride this one out," basically.
But what is the appeal for him though? He shows up and supports a coin that someone else has ripped off. I mean, like, how does that work?
This is the thing about BitClout. Why it's so dangerous, and why even some celebrities are getting hit by it, is because they think that the value they tell them they are is really a value. So they basically just lie to you. Like when Dane Cook signed up, they basically just gave him like $20,000 worth of their coin. But the problem is their coin is valued at this random number that they just make up what they charge you for it. There is no real trusted mechanism in place to actually sell or transfer or convert the coin back into Bitcoin. So it's
like, wow, you got
V-Bucks. Might as well be Chuck E. Cheese tokens.
Exactly. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, I might as well just give somebody like Barnacules bucks. Yeah, if you can find one of my fans on Discord that'll give you real money for it, well, good luck. Power to you. But there's no official mechanism to do it. It's all. And the other thing is BitClout is a massive scam because every coin on the network is centralized because they own all the nodes, meaning that it's not decentralized. So that defeats the whole purpose of having a crypto. It's not open source. That defeats the whole purpose of having a crypto. And every single coin that you buy on the platform, you have to use BTC to buy it. You can't mine it. You have to buy it from them for whatever they value it at, which currently it's like 170. They keep making the value go up to try to pacify people that have doubts on the platform. So it's up to like $170 now. So that's how much you have to pay them for a coin.
Because they've said it is?
Yeah, they just say it is.
I love that. Oh my God, it's gone up again today.
Every day. Even when there was a crypto crash one day, their coin went up by like $10. And the guy who created the platform, he goes by an alias because it's supposed to be anonymous, but everybody figured out who he was. He's a guy that funded another crypto project that like went completely bust, and he's been involved in other crypto projects where they've been sued. So this is just like round 3 of his attempt to scam. Yep. So he's already collected $350 million to a single Bitcoin wallet, which means every single coin that's been purchased on BitClout has been purchased directly from him, and the money went to his Bitcoin wallet, which means the coin now has no value on the network because you gave him real Bitcoin for it. So there's no tradability. Nobody's mining it. Nobody has any skin in the game other than giving this guy money for it. So it doesn't have any intrinsic value between people on the platform because it was never created. Like the whole point with crypto is you mine it or you put something in, and the value of the coin is based on your, electricity expenditure, the work that you do. There's some value behind it. In this case, the only value behind the coin is that you gave some random dude $170 for him to say you have one.
Right.
And so the whole thing's kind of coming apart at the seams, but it's actually way more successful than any other scam that I've seen like this because it's nothing new. It's a clone of there's been 2 other sites that were created in the past, BitConnect, and then there was another one that was exactly a clone of this. It's a recycled idea, but that one failed also because of legal problems and legal intervention. It looks like this one's headed that way too.
I was going to say this one will get the same issues as well, right?
Exactly.
But like, I feel like there'd hardly be any repercussion though, because like if he's already cashed out his Bitcoin,
he's got his cash.
Run.
Yeah. No, all they'll be able to do to him is take him into court and possibly fine him and maybe give him a little bit of jail time, but they can't touch that money. That's the thing, is the Bitcoin is secured. Even if he goes to jail for a year, who cares? He gets out and he's got $350 million waiting for him right there, right? So
like, would it be possible to seize his wallet as part of like asset seizures, right?
Well, I mean, if he was dumb enough to store his wallet and they raided him and they actually got the physical wallet and the private key, then yeah, they could technically seize his assets. But my guess is he probably didn't do that. Plus, it seems like he sent the lion's share of it to a darknet account, a darknet Bitcoin affiliated account that's this team called Hydra out of Russia. And so he's been sending a lot.
Always Russia.
Yeah, it's always Russia. But nobody can figure out why he's been sending this money to this Russian hacker group. And so and he sent a lot of it. It's not like a little bit. It's not like a little payment for them to do something. It's like they're somehow involved in the scam on a huge level because it's like profit sharing levels. He's sending them that much money. So they've been tracing it and trying to figure out, where the money's going. That's the nice thing about cryptographic currency is you can trace it, right? You can figure out which wallets it's going to. You might not know who owns those wallets, but you can tell where it's going. You can track the coins. They're basically marked, right?
He's probably hanging with Aux down there in Cancun right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though because they've gotten a lot of celebrities because the celebrities think that all the other celebrities are on the platform, so they end up joining, and then they don't realize that they stole those 15,000 celebrities' profiles. And so celebrity, and then what happens is in order for you to claim your profile, this is where it even gets even dirtier, is let's say somebody created a Barnacules coin. Luckily, I was the first one to do it. So I own my own coin on the platform, just a park on it. If we put in the bio, this is just a park on my name so somebody doesn't steal it. Because once a coin's created, it can never be uncreated. That's the way the blockchain works. on this project is you can't undo any transaction without killing every transaction on top of it, which means every coin that's minted, there's even an N-word coin. There's literally an N-word coin and they can't ever remove it, and people are actively trading it because they never put in any kind of a system to prevent certain coins from being created. It's basically anything goes. And so many people have already
created the whole point, really, isn't it?
There's somebody who already created coins for almost every YouTuber that's big. Any YouTuber over 1 million already had people create their accounts, and people are already investing in them and thinking that they're on the BitClout platform. And they're like,
this is why I've decided not to have that many followers.
Yeah, just there you go, man. Just keep the followers the minimum.
I gotta keep it low. Next thing you know, I got a coin.
Yeah. What's really scary about this scam, though, is it's built on a model that makes you defend the scam. So it's literally designed with social engineering in mind. So basically, you make an account, a bunch of people buy your coin, and it's not people that you know. It's all bots, right? That are just transacting this currency and creating false network traffic. So they go on there, they buy your coin, and now you create an account. Now you're worth like $30 a coin, $40 a coin, and then you presumably bought a bunch of your coin. So you sent them Bitcoin, you fund your account, you buy a bunch of your coin because they tell you to do that. And then all these people buy your coin and run it up, and you're like, man, I'm worth all this money. But then you go to cash out, and it's like, hey, are you sure you want to convert your coin back? We're going to notify every one of your investors that you're selling the coin and you're making their value go down. So basically, they like guilt trip you to even convert the coin back to BitClout, which is still a fake coin, but that's the coin that you start with when you buy.
Well, and people are going to get mad at you for ditching the coin if all of their savings disappear.
Exactly. So the whole thing is designed. Go ahead.
It reminds me of that old thing, just clout, right, with a K.
Yep.
Where it was like it was supposed to be some like way to measure your social influence on.
Yeah, the film industry got all into that. What's your clout score, man? I was like, I don't fucking know.
How do you decide? Like how does that? What's the measure?
Yeah. What do you want it to be?
This coin doesn't. It doesn't. There isn't anything there. There's no real intrinsic value to it. So it's like there's no real measure. Right. They're making stuff up as they go.
Yeah, and people don't understand, like, that's the thing is most people on the platform, they don't understand what crypto is. So this is their first venture into crypto. So they don't really understand, like, what makes a crypto. So they don't understand that being decentralized in a closed source platform, they're no different than any other business. It's like anybody could go in there and just close them down, and the second they close down, boom, your wallet's gone. You don't even have your own private keys. So if you don't have private keys to your wallet, you can't do anything. They own everything. Even when you buy coin on their platform, they technically can add any transaction they want to the blockchain and it'll be approved because they own that 100% of the blockchain.
Right.
So the whole thing, and the thing is, the white paper, the thing that faces you when you go to the site that tells you about how it works, lies about every one of these details. It tells you that the coin is somehow, its value is linked to Bitcoin, which is absolute horseshit. It tells you that the coins that you buy on the platform or whatever can actually be sold, which is total bullshit. It tells you that it's a decentralized social networking platform, unlike Twitter, that can't be shut down. That's bullshit. They tell you that it's not censored. They said that you can post anything and they can't kick you off like Twitter or Facebook, which is bullshit because they've already kicked off like dozens of people and they're getting ready to punt me and already banned me off the global feed. So that's bullshit. And the worst one is all the images that you post to the platform are actually stored on Imager, Imgur, or whatever it is. So they're basically just using somebody else's service to store the data. They're not even putting it in the blockchain. So everything about the site is just one giant money grabbing lie, and it's been hugely successful. But everybody that's been sucked in by it feels I shouldn't say everybody, but the majority of people sucked in by it feel like they need to defend it because they have money in it. They want to get their money out.
Part of any scam.
Exactly. That's the multi-level marketing.
Multi-level marketing.
Exactly.
Any of that.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, hey, Aux, back that camera up just a little bit there, bro.
No.
Did I miss something?
His resolution's like so sharp, it's like I can count the nose hairs when he was like sitting there, and it's like all it was like half the screen was a nostril. Oh, he's laying down now. Look at this. Sunbathing in paradise.
There you go.
So yeah, so anyways, the BitClout thing, I've been putting some energy into trying to shoo people away from that because so many celebrities have already been sucked into it because they think that their colleagues are on the platform. Like if you go to the platform, it's like David Hasselhoff's on there. You go to the platform, yeah, everybody is. Like I bet you. Let's go check right now. Let's go see if somebody has already stole your coin.
No.
So let's see if there's a D Hewlett coin because they just copied.
What is it? BitClout?
BitClout, CLOUT.
Oh, clout, right? Yeah.
All right, so there's no D Hewlett coin, so good. So that'll be camped by the end of the show. So There's like literally everybody on here. Like, let me see. How about let me just like type in some other guys here. Like how about like Jack Black? Is there a Jack Black coin?
Should I sign up? Wow, Ariana Grande's on there.
No, she's not. Yeah. She's actually not, and that's another problem with this thing.
I know. I'm
not a real one, right?
Yeah, exactly. Every single person you see in that list, Elon Musk, anybody that doesn't have a blue check mark next to him, is actually somebody who hasn't joined the platform that they basically sold their coin without telling them. So they basically just created a coin that can never be deleted, put their face on it, put their information from Twitter on it, and people actively think they joined the platform unless they click on their name and scroll down to the bottom. Then it says,
"And is it legally? Are they allowed to do that?"
No, as a matter of fact, they're already being sued for it. But the problem is, it's the founder is technically anonymous, even though they know who it is or they suspect who it is based on tracing the blockchain. It's pretty obvious who the founder is at this point, the Diamond Hands guy on there. But because it's anonymous, it's like other than sending cease and desist, they don't know who to file a lawsuit against. Because the person could just go into court and be like, oh, I'm actually not the creator of it. I'm just another investor, or I'm just a person. It's like, it's really hard to find the person that's at the head of this, because even the white paper says that, it's anonymous. Like, they advertise that like it's a good thing, and it's not.
Although I was going to say Bitcoin's the same though, right? Basically.
Yeah, but the thing with Bitcoin is the source code was released and everybody could mine it and everybody could run the blockchain, and the coin value was determined by the resources needed to mine it. So that's none of that's true here. This is the same as if like to give you a parallel, this would be the same if I just created a website on my own computer that you basically came to and signed up on, and I just created an imaginary currency called Barnabucks, and every time you sent me Bitcoin, I just give you some Barnabucks, and you could use those to make your clout go up on the platform and make your messages more visible. But it has no value. Like all you could do is maybe sell that coin to somebody else for whatever they're willing to give it to you. But you're never going to get back the money that you paid, the Bitcoin that you actually paid the one guy to mint the coin in the first place. So that completely invalidates.
Unless it goes legit. I'm guessing that if they do somehow manage to make it legit, you could eventually move stuff off the platform.
If it became open source and if everybody created a node, it could technically become legit. But the problem is they already mined 8 million coins on the Genesis block. So they basically gave themselves 8 million coins, so over $1 billion worth of coins they created before they even let anybody else on the platform. And they're the only ones.
So I shouldn't sign up for this in any way, shape, or form.
No. All I would do is like create the free account. I think they let you create an account now with a phone number if you verify, and they give you like $6 in BitClout to fart around with. That's fine if you want to see the platform, but do not send them any Bitcoin. That's the big scam. But here's the other,
send them any money.
The other risk that you have is by creating an account on the platform, is people see, your fans see you on the platform.
Sure I want my name.
They're gonna send Bitcoin to the guy to get BitClout so that they can get your attention by buying your coin. So even just existing on the platform, even me, I literally post every day saying, do not buy my coin. I invested $50 in this so I could come here and warn everybody. And my value today is $208. And let's see, 20 people bought my coin. 20 of my coins are in circulation. So even though I told everybody like to get the fuck out in every message I post, this just shows that on BitClout nobody's watching what you're posting. They're just investing in you based on whether you're verified or not, how low your coin is, buy low, sell high, just pumping and dumping you. There is no real social component to it. And then all the accounts on the global feed.
It's weird.
Go ahead.
It's just weird. It's I don't understand the draw. Like what even is the like. What's the point? What are they trying to sell? Yeah, ego. Like
it's like it's just ego and fan stuff, right? If people go like, "Oh my god, I can invest in." Well,
is it supposed to be like trading cards kind of thing? Or
no.
I don't understand the actual like the scam, I guess, or like I get the scam, but I don't understand what it is that they're trying to like sell. You say like attention, like if I buy a Barna coin, like. What does that get me? So I send them, Bitcoin, and I get one of your BitClout Barna coins or whatever.
You've invested in Barnacules.
Yeah, then basically your messages go to the top. So like if you reply to one of my posts, your comment, it's not chronological. It's based on how much of my coin you own.
Oh, it's actually like a social network as well?
Yes, that's the whole thing. Is it's basically they took Twitter and then they slapped an imaginary currency on it so that your fans feel like they have to give you more money, this fake money that they have to pay real money for so that they can get more clout so that you see them and they're more visible to you.
Oh, no, screw that. That sounds insane.
The concept actually sounds kind of interesting because, like, I could see where you could create a social network where, like, a content creator has like a certain sort of quote value based on like how much content they produce, how popular that content might be. Like you earn
library.
Like, yeah, like where like okay, so there's a Barnacoin, and the value of that coin is going to be based on like how many people watch a video and for how long, and like how many comments library. And things like that.
Yeah, that's literally library.
Yeah, you literally just described the legit version of what they're trying to do here. What they're doing
Which
here,
is
though,
very cool,
is they're lying to you as the creator and saying, like, right now they say I'm worth $4,019, but there's no button to click and say sell, or there's no button to convert it back into the Bitcoin that I gave them. Yeah. My only option is to go use a bunch of shady services that are also hosted by anonymous people, which most of them are ripping people off, and they'll offer to buy my coin for like 1/3 or 1/4, whatever they say it's worth, so they can flip it to somebody else and scam them with it. So it's just a really, really predatory platform. And the coins were, and they're not, the thing is they've been saying, oh, we're going to go open source. We got to fix some stuff before we get the nodes out. No. Everything's been a lie from this platform at the beginning. They never said they were using Imager as the background for the images, because they said they're an uncensored platform. But I'm like, why isn't every other third post like porn in the global feed? Like anything that happens like this, there's always going to be people that post that stuff. So I went and looked in the blockchain, and yeah, it's like full of it. They have people physically curating the posts that are visible to everybody, which means they're actually censoring more than Twitter is. And they're storing the images on Imager, which has its own end user license agreement that says what can be posted, which means their entire argument, everybody's tweeting like, oh my God, it's so cool being on this platform that's not censored like Twitter is. And it's like, no, it turns out if you do your research, it's way more censored than Twitter and Facebook. And everything you see is basically just choking on the D for this platform. The entire global feed is like, oh man, my BitClout went up 10% last night. Oh, my BitClout doubled overnight. Oh, I'm going to send $5,000 to the first 20 people that follow me and send me BitClout. So the entire thing has just turned into a giant pyramid scheme. It's like, imagine taking all your relatives that get sucked in by like Amway and Herbalife and Pampered Chef and Mary Kay, take them all and stick them in a room together and make them all sell shit to each other. That's literally what this is, except for the difference is at least they got some money doing that, presumably. This, you get nothing. You just get a number next to your name that goes up infinitely. And if you say anything bad about the platform, the number goes down. And you're supposed to look at that and go, oh, I could actually sell it and get that money in my hands, which you can't. So,
it reminds me of Hollywood Stock Exchange way back when, in the early, 1.0 days of the internet. And they had a thing called the Hollywood Stock Exchange, and they would have like actors, and they'd have movies. And the idea was it was a way of Hollywood to sort of gauge the interest in movies before there was a lot of these like IMDb's and stuff around. And the idea was you could sort of basically pump your stock by getting in there and submitting lots of information to the site and all that kind of stuff. And for a while there, Hollywood thought this could be it. This is how oh my God, this movie's trending really well on Hollywood Stock Exchange. It's going to do great. They had big offices in Hollywood with like a stock ticker thing on their building and everything. And then bang, it was gone in like overnight.
That sounds like this is basically that same exact idea, just recycled years later.
With YouTubers too.
Yep. Right. But the sad thing is, like, I'm seeing so many people like come over and fall for, because it basically what it does is it gets your fan base to attack you. Like, I'm surprised you haven't been attacked on Twitter yet, because literally, it's because you don't have a coin. If you had a coin, you would be attacked, because what they're going to do is they're going to go to Twitter and they're going to say, hey, David, you got to join this platform, dude, because they bought your coin early and they want it to go up in value. And they know if you join the platform and you tweet it out to the thousands of followers, they know those people are going to come over, join the platform, and then they're going to take their little bit of clout and buy into you. And if they do that, that's going to make their coin price go up. So basically, everybody becomes a multi-level marketing salesman. It has nothing to do with actually selling a product or selling a service. And it's not even about selling yourself either. They claim it is, but it really isn't. It's all about you just literally spamming everything you can to get people to buy your coin, while seeking out other accounts that people have missed to buy their coin early, and then dump it the second it goes up and hurt them.
But it's so weird because there's no real value. There's no point if you can't actually exchange it for either real Bitcoin or whatever, Doge or something that you can actually, because there's no marketplace.
Right.
It's all fake. It's all just a bunch of people patting each other on the back. Because like, what am I going to do with my BitClout?
Yeah,
I can talk to people.
You just if you get enough celebrities or semi-celebrities or YouTube people or whatever, if you get enough people on there who are just like, well, you never know, I'll jump in just to see if anything happens. Like, if I hadn't had this discussion, I could have heard about it and gone like, oh, it's kind of a cool idea. I could see this may be another source of revenue, another, social
There's
platform.
been a few, like Simone Gertz and Sarah Dietz. They kind of almost fell for it too. Yeah.
Actually, Sarah had somebody already created her coin and copied all of her Twitter information, and her fans already invested in it, and like went over and were telling her like, "Oh, hey, we saw you on BitClout. We invested in your coin. We believe in what you do." And she's like, "No, don't do it. It's not my coin." Same thing with Mark Hamill. When Mark Hamill heard about this, he was like, "Holy shit!" He replied back to me, and he like immediately notified his entire audience and sent me a message on the side saying, "Thank you so much for notifying me of this." He's like, "You guys are using my unauthorized image and my bio and everything from Twitter to basically sell this scam coin." He's like, "I want no part of it," you know. So all these celebrities though are banding together trying to figure out.
I want no part of it, or I want a really big part of it.
There you go. Yeah. So, well, some of them definitely accept that. Like Dane Cook obviously thinks it's a great investment to go over there and use his name and likeness to promote a platform where he doesn't get the Bitcoin, they do. So if they convince somebody who's a multi-millionaire, you know, huge stand-up comic to basically support a platform where all the actual money goes to them and he just gets these fake fucking Dane Cook bucks, like it just blows my mind. Like the fact that they were able to do that.
He's not even getting a percentage of, like, you'd think you get a percentage of the Bitcoin or something.
No.
Right?
No, the only people that get the Bitcoin are the thousands of accounts, the 1,000 of accounts that were created. And somebody already traced them all through the blockchain. So there's like thousands of accounts that were created right after the platform was created before it went public. And then the Genesis coin that they created the 8 million coins out of thin air. They distributed those 8 million coins beyond those accounts, then created 15,000 celebrity camped accounts and had them go buy into them so that they'd run their price up through the roof so that they could basically fix their top 10 celebrities. And so when you go to the site, the very first thing it tells you is, oh, Elon Musk, Ariana Grande, Mr. Beast, all these people are like our top 10 creators on the platform. So you go, oh my God, if they're on this platform, then I should be on this platform. So then you click sign up, and nowhere, anywhere does it tell you unless you click on their name and actually scroll down to the bottom that they're not on the platform.
All right. So Barnacules, instead of spending your hard-earned money on and time trying to crush these guys, why not just start a platform that does make sense? Like start one that says, okay, no, you do get a portion of it. We only sign you up. We verify it with the people before it goes live. You get a coin, and this is a legitimate version of this service.
Because to make a legitimate version of the service would require a lot of upfront capital and a lot of real services and a lot of real storage, which these guys all bypassed by just unethical bullshit and lying in their one page.
Yeah, using Imager to host it.
Right. I mean, I could do that if I wanted to be like dishonest as shit. I could just use Imager as the back end. I could use Pastebin as my database, like for the blockchain, and I could just run the entire site off of other people's infrastructure.
But what if you were honest about it? Honest about what you're doing with it, but do it in a way that it does. Like, because look, I'm sure there's a million people out there who could. I mean, I was talking to Jane the other day about like she's making her film right now. Hopefully, if we don't freaking collapse into a giant hole that leads straight to hell or something. Thanks to COVID, Canada. Woohoo! Way to go, Canadian government. Yo, hey. America, hold my beer. So she's making a movie. What a great way to bring in some extra capital for the movie. Maybe she sells like the first frame of each scene or something like that as a NFT or something like that. If you had a service that could provide films and actors and celebrities with that stuff that was legit, that you like took the time to go, okay, you know what? Who is this person? Are they legitimately involved in this production or this person or whatever? Like do the due diligence, then that would be an amazing business, and also would be an amazing service for people. Like for someone like me and the thousands of other people out there who aren't like at least aware of this stuff. It could be a great thing to have.
Oh, absolutely. The concept is sound. Like the basic concept behind the site is actually sound. The part that's not sound is that the coin has no value, which they lie. It's not decentralized. It's not open source. Right. And they're basically stealing people's identities to fake the platform being bigger than it is, to rope in celebrities so that they unknowingly feed their audience to these people to send $350 million to this one guy. Yeah. So it's nothing about it's decentralized. That's the biggest like scheme here, is that everybody's promoting this. Even the celebrities that get on board go, oh my God, this is a decentralized platform. Like this is better than Twitter because we control it. We the people own it. And it's like, no, you don't, because none of the coins were mined by any of you. All the coins that were mined or the 8 million that were just gifted when the blockchain was generated all belonged to this one guy who distributed it to his investors to basically for free so that they could go and invest in all these celebrity accounts first and get an edge on the system. it's a complete and total scam, and anybody can figure it out. That's the thing is, like, there's lots of really, really good videos and lots of really good things where you can go and open the blockchain explorer and look at the blockchain itself, and you can actually link everything back from
for
that
any
account.
of these currencies.
Yeah. So
I think you showed me how to do that one of these.
Yeah, for Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that stuff, you can track a coin from the second it existed back to its source. And the thing is, every single coin that's been created in BitClout has been mined, because you can mine BitClout, you just can't do it. Only the founder that created the site can do it, and only the nodes that he controls can do it. So he's basically amassing all these coins, mining with no competition, which means he can get all the coins himself, guaranteed 100% of the time. Which with mining they'd be distributed, right? So because he has all the coins, and he's still charged, even though he has unlimited coins, the only way to get one is to buy one from him. So it'd be like you having like 1 million Bugatti Veyrons, but you only sell like 15 of them to maintain like this crazy value. But there's still millions of Bugattis, just nobody knows it because you have them hidden away in, you know, a thing somewhere, and you're parting them out to make them exclusive. It's like diamonds. You pay $1 million for diamonds. It's De Beers. Exactly.
They got fucking warehouses full of them.
Yeah, you can literally go to beaches. Yeah, you can go to beaches and literally pick up diamonds.
Maple syrup.
Yeah. What's that?
You know, they do this. No, I'm serious. They do the same thing.
I saw
with
the
maple
documentary.
Yep. Entire giant freaking like warehouses of this stuff because it's worth a fortune.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Meanwhile, in Canada, maple syrup.
Where's the syrup coin? Can we get some?
There you go. I'm going to bug you about this, Barnacules, because I think there's a service here that I could think of right off the top of my head. I could talk easily 20, 25 fellow nerds into sorting out their own coin or a coin for their project or something like that.
Like, so why is I wonder, like, if library is already something similar, like, why is it not more, like, why aren't people more talking about it and stuff? Why isn't it a bigger thing?
Well, they're talking about it. They just forgot to pay their taxes.
Actually, they've been growing like crazy, Ox. Yeah, well, they're actually being sued by the SEC right now.
Yeah, they kind of screwed up on some tax reporting stuff.
But the reason why library's been growing a lot. It's actually called Odyssey now. Like the front end's Odyssey. The coin is called Library Coin. So, but the thing is, it's actually pretty well known. A lot of people contact me about it constantly, and it's still growing. But the reason the coin's value is going up is because the coin is actually mined and minted by you using the platform. Whereas with BitClout, the coins are only mined by the guy that created it, and you have to pay him real money for them. So, and that's the biggest problem with this whole platform. Like, if I wanted to create this platform legitimate, the very first thing I do is open source from day one. Distribute it to all the nodes. That way, if I want to make a change, everybody has to agree to it from that point on, since everybody has an equal stake, right? And then what I would do is I'd have the mining of the coin would be a byproduct of you using the service, just like Odyssey. Like, the more you use the service, the more content you post, the more things you do, the more mining that you're doing towards earning those coins. And then those coins would actually have value based on how hard they are to create on the network. Right now, there's infinite coins, and the guy can literally just pull them out of his ass, like at will, and sell them to anybody for $170 a person. He basically just has a money printer. And there are people on the platform that are like, oh no, you could totally go to like this BitSwap thing and sell your coins and shit, but it's like a non-licensed anonymous service ran by some guy on Squarespace, and you're supposed to go in and send Bitcoin to his wallet and hope send BitClout to his wallet and hope he sends you some crypto for it. Like, they're all scammy as fuck. Hey, thoughts from Nude Lowell. Thank you for the 10 Canadian dollars. We really appreciate it. That's the first super chat of the day. You're awesome. He said, and now your correspondent's out in the field. Yeah, dude, we send them to all the corners. I didn't know Ox was going to show up today. That was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, we sent Ox out specifically to be on location.
Yeah,
it's our production value.
It's a little bit windy. It's a little bit laggy, and his voice sounds like he's an announcer on a broken stereo system. But we got him. Nobody
else sound more legit.
For another few minutes at least, my poor battery's dying real fast.
Yeah, I figured it would, dude. To maintain that 4G connection at this bandwidth, boy, it's probably slurping.
Like, my phone is hot.
What phone are you on right now?
You're not going to get billed for this. God, I sound like such an old man.
No. It's I have unlimited. It's a Note 10.
Oh, it's nice. Okay, nice. That's a battery drinker of a phone.
Yeah,
I do love the Note.
I started to stream at like about 70%, and now I'm like 38.
Wow, dude.
What, quickly, 40 minutes ago?
Give it another Mai Tai, quickly.
Yeah.
All right, well, just let us know and give us a sign off when you're ready to take off, so you don't just like freeze up and disappear.
Okay, that'll be fun too.
No, there is. There is
need more super chats to stay on.
What's that?
I need more super chats to stay on.
Is that why you're here? You're harvesting the super chats from Mexico with shitty audio quality and video. I see how
They're going directly to his drinks bill, right?
Yeah,
so that's like automatically. I just put my library Odyssey account in the chat because I'm hoping that we can beef up my library coins now.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Well, Lewis gave us $1, so there you go, Ox.
But that's a real dollar.
That's a real dollar. That's his real deal. What was that noise in the background? Was that somebody else's phone ringing or?
Some music. They're pumping some music.
Oh, don't get us DMCA'd, bro.
Johnny Winter. Holy moly. Thank you.
Thank you for the 50 Danish kroners. He said, here's some profit from the Dogecoin. Yeah, dude, Doge went on a tear last night. Holy shit.
Did we? Oh my God, it's worth like 50 something bucks now.
Yeah, dude, Doge went. Well, no, not per coin. That's probably his whole wallet.
Sorry, that's mine.
Yeah, sorry. So Doge went from 11 cents to like touched 40 cents last night. So it went up like briefly for 300%, and then it dropped off to like 200%. But still, in one day. So if you're somebody that has like me who has 10,000 Dogecoins, if I had sold at the peak last night, that would have been a pretty nice little payday. But I'm not going to. I'm holding forever.
You have 10,000 Dogecoins.
I have 10,000 Doge.
Did you buy them?
No, a friend gifted them to me a long time ago.
Oh, I was gonna say for like $1 or $100 or something. Like
when it was given to me, it was worth like $1. So
yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. So right now, if I sold right now on the exchange, I'd get $2,800 for my Dogecoin.
I get $54.
That's crazy.
You gave them to me.
Hey, Ox, can you mute your mic? It's picking up like really bad feedback from that music in the background. All right, cool.
We're picking up you having fun, and it's really pissing us off.
Well, no, I want to make sure the stream doesn't get DMCA'd and take down for the music. So that's what I'm most worried about.
I'll just sign off, you guys. It was fun. It was fun hanging out with you, stopping by. I'll just say adios.
All right, brother. We got another $5 super chat for you, another $2 Canadian super chat there for you. So
have a great time. You're drinking for 3. Remember.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, get shit-faced plastered and float in the pool. That's what you do when you're in Mexico.
Yeah. That's it. Buenos dias. We'll see you. Adios.
All right, Mexican correspondent AuxxZillary signing off.
That's signing off. Reporting live from Cancun.
That's right. Bye.
Take it easy, brother.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
God, I can't believe, like, surprisingly, I mean, the audio was shit because of the wind, but the video actually was like sharp.
It's just compared to our usual try to set up headaches. That's what it is. It's just all of a sudden it seems like it's not so bad.
Right? Now I got to figure out how. Oh, there, it already figured itself out. Yes. Okay. I figured out how to punt the frozen image.
Apparently
he's
drinking
Ninja.
For 70 of us.
Yeah, probably. So I use, if you guys are wondering what we use for the stream, we use something called OBS Ninja. It's obs.ninja is the URL. And it's a really cool service that allows you to basically do like peer-to-peer video and audio sharing. And it actually does the compositing of all the videos. So if somebody joins in, it automatically rearranges the windows and everything. And you just import that scene as a web page into OBS and it just all works. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm changing up my system again because it's been working for a little while. So I thought I would fuck with it again.
Oh, what are you thinking about doing? Like,
well, I've been using this ATM Mini Pro and I'm just not sure that it's worth the hassles. Like the sound is such an issue on it because it's got this, like, I don't know whether it only has the little 1/4-inch inputs. There's no monitor. And it's a beautiful little system. I think it'd be beautiful for like a school or a church or whatever, that kind of thing. But for me, I think OBS is just going to make more sense. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way of maybe just outputting the OBS directly into this thing as a camera.
Oh,
and
you
maybe
can
go with that.
Yeah. So there's a way to do it with.
Is that the virtual cam thing?
Yeah, it's called like virtual camera, and you basically send it like an NDI stream from OBS Studio, or maybe the plugin just does it as a camera. But I was using it for the longest time when we back in the day when we used Skype before OBS Ninja. The way that I sent you guys the live feeds was to actually take the composited scene in OBS and send it to Skype as a webcam. And I think it's actually built in. Actually, never mind. It's built into OBS now. It's called virtual cam.
Yeah, I've seen it in there. So I got to figure that out then. Honestly, the biggest issue is audio. I've been playing with like 2 mics. I just want to use one USB mic. That's all I want to use. And I was plugging an external monitor from the mic to the box and I was getting noise and I was buying noise busters and they didn't work. And it's just, I just like, forget it. I'm going simple. I'm streaming like the kids.
The only thing I don't like about OBS is, and I don't think it's OBS's fault, I actually think it's Windows' fault, is you can't get a live audio feedback with 0 delay. So if you want to hear back all the effects and everything in the audio stack, like hear your mic back in your headset, you have to use like a mixer board, or you have to use a headset that automatically routes back and monitors on the earpiece. Because if you try to do it through OBS, it's good for like checking the audio quality, but it'll speech jam you because it's delayed by like, 200 milliseconds. And I cannot for the life of me figure out how the hell there's such a delay with audio, even on ASIO, even if you enable the ASIO stuff or whatever, it's still delayed. I don't understand why there's such a delay on audio, yet they can do real-time video processing with 0 lag.
Is it because the processing's taking place in the cameras now, or is it?
No, I mean, OBS can do like crazy background removal effects and stuff in real time without adding any lag, like at all. It's like you don't even notice it. Like even if you use snap filters, it's like there's no lag. Your audio is still perfectly sunk with your microphone if you have a decently fast computer. And audio is like stupid simple to work with. Audio is very one-dimensional. Yeah, so I don't get why it struggles so much. And I have to believe that it's probably the way Microsoft programmed the audio stack so that multiple apps can use the microphone at the same time and multiple apps can use the audio source at the same time. I'm thinking something about the way that they're sharing everything there in the direct audio stack with the buffering and stuff is what's adding that delay. And there's no way to get rid of it. I've tried. Like people have told me, oh, just use this, just install this. But it's like they're just used to the lag. But once you experience it, it's so obvious. And it's just not fun anymore. Hey, Pop, thank you for the $5 super chat. It says, Wags, how are you? I think he just said, how are you? He said, I tried VR. Okay, well, that's awesome. Oh, which headset did you use? He said, I had a chance to go use the Oculus Go. Oh, wow, that's old school, man. He said, it's totally just an adult content platform. I did get VR chat working. No, I mean, it can be. Like, I mean, if you just put on the VR headset and you just start going into like VR chat and stuff as an adult, you have an interesting experience. You get to see the absolute darkest of humanity in about 30 seconds flat. It makes Xbox Live look tame.
The joy,
dude, it's bad. It's bad. Like my first experience joining, not even VR chat. I had a bad experience in VR chat, but my worst experience was Rec Room, the Oculus specific kid friendly thing. As long as you join as an account over 13 years of age, it puts you in like the adult rooms. The second I created an adult account, because up until that point I was playing with my son, so I created an account where I'm like 12 years old. You're not allowed to talk. You don't get to pick your name. All you can do is move your hands and play games together. So it's just a visual thing. And so I joined the adult room, and the very first thing I do when I join it, I start walking across the room, and some guy jumps up in my face and just starts going like this. And he's like, I'm jaying all over your face. I'm jaying all over your face. And he was following me around the whole room for like 10 minutes doing that. And I was like, how the fuck do I ban this guy? So I finally figured out how to pull up my little hand thing, and I'm like, okay, ban this guy. Bloop. He disappears out of my universe, and he can't see me anymore. So now we're like ghosts to each other. And then another guy sees that I made him a ghost and knows that I was irritated by him. So like 3 other people walk over and be like, oh my God, I'm going to kill you. I did this to your mother. I did this to your mother. And it's like literally nonstop from the moment you join. And if you join as a female with a female persona and a female voice, you instantly just get mobbed by like 30 dudes. They just come over and just say the most appropriate shit until you either log off or ban them all. And I was like, wow. And the funny thing is when you join Rec Room, there's literally a big sign right on the wall before you're allowed to enter the world that says like, no cursing, no sexual gestures, no harassment. And the platform just, obviously they just don't care because none of these people are being managed or banned off the platform. So that's just
there so the lawyers can say, well, we've got rules.
Exactly. But if you join, if you create an account that's under 13, like you create an account, you just say you're like 11 years old or 12 years old, then it takes you into a world where it's like I've yet to run into anything even remotely.
And you go to jail if you get caught.
Well, yeah, technically, yeah. So probably you're probably violating some kind of EULA there, and now you're a predator. But it's the only way to play with my son.
If it's that easy to do, then you are, right? I mean, not you, but I mean, I'm assuming other people. There was a great thing. I've been listening to a new podcast called Dark Web Diaries, just all these horror stories from the web type thing, and they were talking about the VTech hack. You know,
what's that? The VTech baby monitor thing.
Oh, they were like teddy bears that could talk. They had little iPads for kids. They had all this stuff, and they got completely pwned, like completely. And it turns out that they were like storing their passwords in clear text. They were storing all the information on the web. So even the kids' videos, and like they would say, take a picture of us and put your name in. And so there was like a database of kids' names, addresses, like phone numbers, it was just insane.
Well, the cool thing about the way Oculus did it in this case is that you can't talk to each other. You're not allowed to pick your name. So like your name is just something like, Fantastic Frog 423. And so you're not allowed
I still let the kids on Tech Bandits pick their names, and it's so confusing. I never know who the hell I'm talking to because they keep changing their names all the time.
No, that's pretty common on every platform. Yeah. Even here, I
don't want to take it away because they get so much joy out of it. Because I just get to make them say this. All right, okay, farty poop pants. What do you think about this?
Well, to be honest, any platform I join, I try to see what I can get away with. Like I actually got banned off of Forza. Was it Forza Horizon? Forza Horizon 4, I got like a 24-hour ban because I made my license plate PIG 187, which is basically like cop killer. And so I did that and I got banned. And then I did another license plate where it was like 80085, like boobs. And I got banned for that one.
Oh my God, I remember that on the calculator.
Yep.
I so, did it on the calculator. Friends of mine used to do it on the calculator.
Yeah, right.
I was far too mature for that.
Of course, man. Come on, that would ruin your whole British clout.
Exactly.
No,
we don't have SE.
My favorite band though that I earned, that I feel like I put in the most time and work into, was getting banned off of Nintendo Wii U platform, because the Wii U, like when it first came out, right, you had the tablet and you could draw on it.
Yeah, I got one up here.
Yeah. So we had a Wii U, so I created an account on it. And one night my buddy was over and we got drunk and we literally just drew like 500 veiny penises and just kept posting them to the global forum. Until finally Nintendo like stepped in, is like, this is your only warning. Your account will be deleted if you do it again. And because of us and some other people, they actually implemented code that can detect a phallic drawing. So now if you try to draw a thing, it actually pops up before it posts it and says, we've detected an inappropriate picture. And the only way that it doesn't detect is if you draw a square penis. You have to draw it like pixel art.
Minecraft penis.
Yeah. But if you put any curvature to it whatsoever, it immediately pops up on the screen and says, So yeah, that was.
I'm surprised we haven't found cave drawings with like the first early man just drawing dicks on the wall, basically, because it seems to be the first thing everyone does when they get the ability to either build, draw, or create anything. It's like, a dick.
Oh man, no, it is true. If you give anybody freedom, that's what's going to happen, right? Like
freedom.
If you let them name themselves what they're supposed to, it's going to be the most offensive thing you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
Because I remember GTA 5 had like cracked down on that because people were literally creating the social accounts that had like incredibly offensive slurs and stuff in it. And since it gets your account name from the social, they're like little launcher platform. Any game that you joined, you just automatically had that name. And
I don't know what the appeal is. I don't understand why there's such a need to. I guess it's just boredom.
It's just shock value. Like that's even when I did it, when my friend was around and stuff, it's like we were just sitting there and we're like, dude, that we see this board going by with everybody drawing pictures of houses and suns and people like, doing sketches and stuff. We're like, what if somebody just drew a bunch of veiny penises and put them on Nintendo? Wouldn't that be funny? And it's like, for some reason it was. We were laughing our asses off.
It's more like your thesis. It was your thesis, basically.
It was. We were just trying to prove a point.
Thesis.
We're trying to prove a point that, Nintendo employees are lazy and we'd be able to post like 500 of them before anybody checked. And we literally did. We passed it back and forth for the better part of an hour, drawing these things and posting on the feed. And everybody's like, they're getting tons of like engagement on them. Like, ew, oh my God, why would you post this or whatever? Like, okay, here comes another one. Anyways, that ended up launching a site called drawdick.com that I actually like co-authored with another person. I don't know if it's online anymore. Here, let me go look.
And this is just for places where like, wherever you find them.
Yep. Like literally, okay, it's offline right now. Yeah, I thought it was, but we created a platform. It's going to come back, by the way. But Draw Dick is literally what it sounds like. You literally log in, and it's like a Photoshop interface, and you draw the most veiny sketch of a wiener you can. You post it, and then people rate it, and it goes up a leaderboard. That's the entire site. It's just a giant site. You
gotta like put an NFT on those now.
Yeah, and you can click like a random button, and it'll just randomly select one and pop it up on the screen, so you can flip through it and then rate them. It's like swipe left, swipe right for like penis drawings. It's like, I don't know. Great. It was magnificent because when we launched it, it was only online for a short period of time. I can't remember why we had to take it down. I think we were working at Microsoft at the time, so there might have been a conflict of interest there.
Right.
But I remember that when we brought the site online, it's like we tweeted out like one link to it, and we had like 500 drawings in the first week. That weren't ours. That weren't ours on the platform. It was, and the whole idea came from Superbad. If you've ever seen the movie Superbad, the main character or whatever, he really prides himself on drawing these like ultra detailed things. So it was like this competition to see who could draw the best one. And the funny thing is, there was some on there that were like art, dude. Like there was people that literally took the time to draw some because you couldn't paste. There was no paste. You had to physically move the mouse and draw because it was a JavaScript algorithm that basically tracked your mouse movement. So you had to draw it. You couldn't just cut and paste from somewhere because we wanted everybody to have to draw it. And there was shit on there that I kid you not, like they took time to like shade it and give it dimension and have like a whole scene in the background. Somebody drew one that was like a penis artist with an artist cap on with a canvas painting another penis that was like with a scenic view behind it. And I was like, how much time did these people spend drawing these things pixel by pixel with JavaScript on this site? I was blown away. I was completely blown away, but it really makes
Jim Evo saying the internet is a mistake. It's just a mistake.
It's like, what's that saying? Mistake. It's my curse. It's my God, what's the saying? It's my gift. It's my curse.
Yeah.
So to say that is literally the internet in a nutshell. It's literally for every good thing the internet gives us, there's an equally bad thing that yin yangs the sumbitch out.
Well, when you talk about any technology, when it first shows up, there's always like there's that sort of wonderful Wild West approach to everything that eventually gentrifies. So I think we're being sort of forced through the gentrification process now. But like, I mean, even just, for God's sake, cars, people used to just hop in cars after as many drinks as they wanted and drive home. They didn't have seatbelts. There's none of this. They had to learn because of people's stupidity how to legislate this stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the weirdest thing is like everything else in the world, the government figures out how to get some kind of a handhold on. Doesn't matter if it's currency, doesn't matter if it's like you being able to say whatever you want, whenever you want somewhere. Like there's always a limitation that's applied to every aspect of our life. And somehow the internet architecture eludes that kind of control. Like they can't, even if they want to, because it's like, okay, they shut some shit down. You just work around it with a VPN. Okay, they shut down all the VPNs in the world. Okay, you create your own VPS and you go through that. Okay, they shut down your ability to ever create a VPS. Okay, then you create a protocol like Tor or BitTorrent or peer-to-peer or use a blockchain. It's like, as long as you can get data from your computer to another computer and that other computer can get data from their computer to another computer, as long as there's some link between them in some nature, like the data will find a way. You can't stop the signal. And so the government has a really hard time figuring out how to regulate that, because the only thing they can do is regulate the legitimate companies that operate on it. Once you start getting into like, private citizens and stuff in other countries and other jurisdictions and just people just being anonymous on the internet, because like literally you can, if you want to be anonymous on the internet, it's like you can use a VPN encryption, go through Tor, go through more obfuscation measures. I mean, you can just create an entire burner virtual machine account that will make you absolutely like disappear on the internet, basically untraceable.
But it's harder than it used to be.
Yes,
now.
Very much.
I mean,
very much so.
I feel like the tools for tracking them down are better too. I mean, and you're seeing these sort of splinter net things happening, like where Russia now has a switch that can basically shut their, disengage their internet from the rest of the internet, or China, same thing with the Great Firewall of China and stuff.
And neither perfect.
Work.
Yeah. Oh, well, obviously,
they're not perfect, but they're good enough for most. For a lot of people, that's it's going to make it that much more difficult for them to actually use it the way we do.
No, that's a fair point. Like if you're talking about
lost you. Why can't I hear you?
Hello.
Oh, I pulled my cable out. Sorry.
It happens, David. I do it to you.
All this talk of penises, I yanked my cable.
You're a dirty birdie. You're a dirty birdie, sir. You're making me blush. Like I don't say things like that. I don't make innuendos ever. That's something I don't do.
It's true.
Be professional, David.
You just go straight for the penis drawing. Yeah.
Hey, it's draw dick, okay? It's not penis, okay? Dick. That's a very British thing to say. Here we should just say dick. It's shorter.
Look,
it's easier to say in less syllables.
For God's sake. We gave you the damn language.
Hey, we improved upon it though, man, by shortening everything. We don't put you in color, dude. You don't need.
We made it a lot easier.
Fucking you in color.
Yeah, I have to literally think about it every time I type it out. Where like, am I gonna go British Canadian on this, or am I gonna go American on this? So.
I have a question for you. Like, so you fight with some different personas, because you have your Canadian persona, your British persona, and your American persona, right? You kind of round robin them as an actor. So when you have to type the letter Z, do you think in your head Z. as you're hitting Z?
Yeah,
that is so weird.
I mean, it's funny though, because Z is something that's happened more like recently in the last 30 years instead of whatever. But I know we grew up with Z, right? XYZ, that was it. And then when we got to Canada, they started using Z a bit more. And then the States, of course, you just sound like an idiot saying Z. So I say it on purpose now just to get a rise out of people.
Well, yeah, every time I hear it, I'm like, it definitely is one of those phrases where it gives you up instantly as to your origin. Like the second you say Zed, or like my friend, he'd always say about instead of about. It was like instantaneously when he said that in public, everybody was like, Canadian, get him.
House.
Yeah, it's like there's just certain things and certain inflections where it's like, you do have accents. There are Canadian accents, like especially the French Canadian, right? Really thick accents.
Oh yeah, they want to talk like this. There's bacon parallel with the eggs side by each, facing the sky, the sunny.
Yeah, but then you bring those guys down to Minnesota and they can't tell each other apart. Like they're like it's
there you go.
It's the same thing. It bleeds over the border. But the thing is, in like Victoria, like British Columbia, you go there, you cannot tell any difference between the people there talking and the people in Seattle. There's no discernible accent that I pick up on except for when they say Zed and about.
Right, interesting.
That's it. Like everything else sounds absolutely perfectly flawless to what I'm used to. It's bizarre that there's those little differences, right? That out you. But Zed is the weird one. Like, where does Zed come from? I got outed. No, what is where did Zed? Do you know the story of Zed? Like, why Zed instead of Z? Is it just
I Zed because that's what my grandparents taught me.
So like when you guys are doing the alphabet, you're literally like,
dude,
X, Y, Z.
I say yogurt.
Yogurt
instead of yogurt. Now I've had to force myself to say yogurt because otherwise I'm so sick of having that discussion. But so I was brought up saying yogurt. Wow. Now, I've talked to people in England who are like, what the hell? No one says that. I'm like, well, where did I get it from then? Because my parents taught me yogurt. Like jog. You know what I mean? Yogurt. You don't,
So tell me this, have you actually taken any, because I mean, being an actor, I guess this is somewhat common, but have you actually for an acting role had to take any kind of like speech classes or anything like that to teach you how to be more American? Or
sometimes they have people on set. The Americans for a while there would have people that actually they still do. They'll have like language consultants who'll just be on set, and every so often someone will come up and go like, that sounded a little Canadian. You're like, fuck off. And then you're right. Then they go away and then you say it the right way.
Interesting. Basically. Okay, so they're there to just kind of catch up those little cues that people might pick up on, right?
Yeah, it took me a long time to get used to it. And finally now I'm like, I just embrace it now and go like, okay, fine. The longer I'm in Canada, the more I'm going to say oots and a boots and all that shit. So
I just like how for Stargate, they're like, what'll make this really easy and save us money? Let's just put a Canadian patch on them. There we go. Like everybody else
was living in the States. That's the funny thing is I was living in the States. Like I've got to the point now where I have to consciously say Zed PM because I feel like I'm letting the fan base down if I don't. You know what I mean?
That's wild,
at this point,
man.
Like I've said Z by accident a couple of times, and people are like, "What? You're a lie.
You're phony.
Why don't you just go to BitClout and get a coin, you bastard?"
It's like that. It's like that scene from Family Guy. You ever watch Family Guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the Omophony episode where it's like Peter's pretending to play the piano it's a player piano and he's just pretending to play it. And some guy walks up to him who's a total nerd, right? With like a ponytail. He's like, "Oh my God, you're so good at the piano. You're so good. Wow, you must have practiced a lot." And then Peter just gets bored and gets up and walks away and the piano's playing. He goes, "You're a phony." And then throughout the entire episode, he's following around and spray painting like phony on the side of his car and popping through his window on his house. He's like, "You're a phony." Like he just needs to keep like telling him that he's a lie because he feels like he's been deceived, even though he wasn't. He was clearly just like messing around and he misinterpreted the situation. But
I definitely feel like there's certain things like I'm very clear that the brilliance is only on television. I mean that otherwise I would just be people would be just asking me whether something's a prime number all the time, and I just like I can't. There's only so many times I can get that wrong.
Was there any weird like scientific things that you had to actually like just regurgitate, but you didn't understand at all? Like on the show, like lines that
some stuff didn't make sense. Some stuff wasn't like some stuff didn't seem legit, but or maybe I just didn't know enough of the lore of it. But I looked up there's a great resource for that, which is gateworld.net, and they have a whole fan base, like the entire fan created website. It has glossaries and history, timelines and all that kind of stuff. So I used that a lot when I first showed up because I wanted to know what all the different things were.
Are you shitting me? For the show that you were in, you were watching a fan-made website to get the information that influenced your acting on the show?
Yeah.
So you're saying the fans literally unknowingly had input into the performance on the show? That is wild.
Absolutely. No. So, and I've said this a few times, but
I've never guessed that.
So the first episode I ever did, I called up the office and said, like, look, I've seen a few of the episodes, but I don't know an awful lot, and I'm saying a lot of technical stuff here. I'd love to know is there some kind of a Bible? They printed out the Gate World glossary and sent it to me. I think it was kind of here's your stupid Bible. And so I got a stack of paper like this big, a glossary of information. It was huge, like ridiculous. And this was the early days, so it wasn't even as big as it is now. But I made a point of going through it because I was like, screw you. You're going to give me all this stuff? I'll freaking quiz me. What do you want? And nowadays it's terrible because I don't remember. I mean, everyone knows the show better than I do now because they've watched it more times than I have. So,
you know what would be cool is if they made a show that was shot like real time, like it's like shot like a reality show, but it's not, obviously. It's like scripted, right? But then have like a multiple choice thing that runs for like a week after the show, like during downtime between the shoots. Like run a thing and see what they want, what decisions they want people to make, like multiple choice, and have a series that's completely driven by the fans.
They tried to do that. They've tried to do that a few times. When the internet first started out, everyone was really big on these, like, interactive and like, how do you decide, choose your own adventures? But think about it. How many lousy freaking endings are there in movies already without having people then have to write 50 of them? You know what I mean?
That's like, true. Yeah.
I mean, video games are just better at that. You know what I mean? Video games are just much better at that kind of stuff. But, there's definitely there's some fun stuff. I like the idea. There's sort of maybe, I mean, it's sort of being formalized into things like America's Got Talent and stuff, right? Where you can text in to decide the fate of your favorite singer and that kind of stuff. Like that's in a way, that's the most effective interactive stuff that they've done, right? I think when it comes to storytelling, I don't think people do they really want to tell the story? I kind of want to when I sit down to watch something, I don't want to have to. That's a
good point.
You know what I mean? A video game, I want to have as many options as possible. I love sandbox games because you can run around doing things that they don't expect you to do.
Yeah, GTA 5 is still my all-time favorite. Like no game ever in my entire life as a human being has brought me back as many times, even just playing through the story. Just playing through the storyline. I think I'm on my 9th time through. And the game since it came out. Like going completely through the story with each character, each ending, each different option. Like it's the way that the story is put together in a way where you can make different decisions but still converge back on a similar path so that it's like linear without feeling linear, but still the ability to just do side quests and do whatever you want and just like go take over a block and see how long you can hold it and see how many cops you can get to chase you and stuff. Like stuff like that is definitely really interesting to me, and I like the idea of sandbox games. But like a sandbox movie,
I love Minecraft for that reason. Minecraft to me was like just a dream because it was like you're truly exploring and mining and creating. I love that game.
Actually, I just remembered something. There was something just like this on Netflix. I can't remember what it was called, but there was a movie on Netflix that I watched where you had to pick the direction that you wanted the movie. Like, what was that called?
Thunder something. Wasn't it a Black Mirror guy? Didn't the Black Mirror do one?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Like a Black Mirror
episode. You had to choose. Yeah.
What was it called?
I haven't seen that one. It was called Bandersnatch. That's it.
Bandersnatch. That's right. And I still haven't made it through the thing because I keep making the wrong decisions and I just gave up.
Interesting.
So maybe my idea is flawed. So. Maybe like I've already experienced what I just said and I didn't even realize it because that's how, frustrating of an experience it was.
They used to have things. I remember there was one, what was it called? Captain Invincible or something. I don't know what the hell it was. It was an old series back in like the 80s where you bought a laser gun.
I remember that. And my friend had that. Yes. And you shot at the TV, right? You
had the TV. Whenever you saw that, you'd have to go, and like start shooting at the screen.
Yeah. Wasn't it like an epileptic seizure hazard? Because like everything that you had to shoot on the screen was flashing white. It was doing like that screen blinking thing.
It was but it was like a weird kind of like psychedelic.
I remember that
flow to it. I remember that. I thought that was interesting, but again, hugely flawed. Like all of these. I mean, when again, the film industry is like the last person you should go to for innovations in anything other than perhaps visual effects and stuff, because I feel like they're so set in their ways for and how they do a lot of this stuff. But the game industry, because it really was again a Wild West when it first came out. Like you just and even now, you just don't know. The games can explore anything and everything, and I'm amazed at what actually a good example is so I was talking to Cudlitz on Clarice the other day. This plays the FBI, the head of FBI or whatever it is in Clarice's division, and great guy. He was on Walking Dead. He's done Southland. Just really very cool guy. And he's almost like this paternal figure on the set now, where he organizes read-throughs and just that. Great guy. But he's invested in a I think it was originally a camera company and it became a gaming company. And they've got a game now that is, I think it's designed for kids, like 13 and up as usual. And but it's all tied to NFTs and stuff. So it's like, again, it's like they're almost like pop figures that you can collect and play with in the game. And there's a whole sort of the currency and stuff. But the point being is that the gaming industry is a bit like the porn industry in that it's able to try out stuff in a way that I just don't think the film industry can. It's too set in its way, the film industry, I think, right now.
Yeah, do you know what the game's called? Do you remember?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, because I kind of want to check that out because I do.
Yeah, I was down. What is it called? It's called. Oh, I've got it. What is it called? Blanco's Block here. I'll give you a link. I'll get you a link.
Yeah, just dump it in chat so everybody can go take a look at it.
Yeah.
Because the idea of collectibles in game has like been around for a while, like the CSGO skins, like people literally pay like real money in real life to get those things, right?
Yes, but this I think is going beyond that into an actual marketplace, I think. But that's the plan anyways. Look, it's early days. It's like beta, like total beta right now. And I don't even know if he's openly publicizing it or anything, but it's I just thought it was kind of cool. Here, let me pop it into the chat. Here we go.
Oh, Jake Q said, by the way, Minnesota is just Canadian sleeper cell.
Yeah, that's it. We're
It's
waiting
so
to be
true.
awoken with the right code word.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Tripp, thank you for the $2. He said ZPM. Yeah. It's ZPM.
Yeah, it's Zed. That's it.
So it's blankos.com. All right.
Yeah, blankos.com. And that's Michael Cudlitz's. I mean, it's not his company, but it's like he's a shareholder or whatever, part owner or something. It's really cute. It's like his kids wanted to get into coding, and so they're working there and stuff. And it's just I just thought it's kind of neat.
So it's like it's like pop vinyl characters.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I think you could create your own. I think the idea is that eventually you can design your own and you could sell them in the marketplace. And you're not just selling them within the Blankos marketplace. I think the idea is that, well, I'm sure you are, but eventually the idea is that it could actually have a cryptocurrency value to it as well. I think.
Actually, looking at the images, it looks like it actually shares quite a bit with Fortnite as far as like the.
It has, yeah. I'm assuming it's made in the same engine. Right? It's probably the Unreal Engine again.
Probably everything these days is like made in Unreal. Like even Unity. Unity. This is the funny thing is I'm starting to see a trend where Unity is used more in the cinematography space, and Unreal is used more in the gaming space because Unreal is way more highly optimized for like 3D games and RTX and all those feeters. Whereas Unity,
and yet the Unreal Engine is Star Wars, right? Isn't the Mandalorian be using Unreal?
I thought they were using. Wait, are they using Unreal?
I'm pretty sure it's Unreal for Mandalorian. Yeah. They're the ones who sort of pioneered that virtual set in a way that Unity has it, but I think they're more in catch up than Unreal is.
Wow.
I really like Unity just because of the simplicity of how.
No, me too. I've tried to use both. Like even as a career developer myself, I was like, Unreal, at least back when I tried. I mean, this is a while ago. It was probably 3 years ago last time I touched it. But when I opened up, I was like, you could tell that Unreal was definitely more geared towards professionals that understood how pixel shaders worked and the mechanics of lighting and stuff like that. And it's more highly optimized, like give you bare metal access. Whereas in Unity, it was like you could literally just drag shit everywhere and create an entire game, never writing a line of code.
Yeah,
like bizarre, I actually did. I literally wrote RC Pro-Am, like a shitty version of RC Pro-Am for Nintendo in like 3 hours. And it was literally, I went and downloaded an image. I created a parametric like extrusion of it. So basically I downloaded like this little solid image and I had to extrude it so it looked like a little Formula One car in the world. And then I just tilted the thing at like a 45-degree angle. And then I enabled that. God, what do they call it? Where the camera's fixed. It doesn't have any, it's a linear camera, basically. No matter how far you are away from the camera, you're the same size. I forget what they call it, like ortholinear camera or whatever. I enabled that. And then I just had the thing like moving around and I set some boundaries and you could effectively race around a track. And it had boundaries. Like you could smash in the walls. There was physics. The car would like flip and smash into stuff. And I didn't have to program any of that.
All built in. I know it's all in there. It's amazing. Yeah, it is. It's extraordinary. I really want to play with it more. I was hoping the kids would get into it more, but they haven't. Again, they don't. Maybe it's just an age thing. But I because you could be creating your own games. I mean, look, if you look at Roblox, like the kids on Roblox, or there's like this whole company's developing around Roblox development of games within their system. And making millions of dollars doing it too.
I think you just got to show the kids somebody who's successfully doing it very quick, because they need that instant gratification, right? So there's a YouTube channel
they've
called
got a Lego thing.
Oh, what's the Lego thing?
They've got a Lego partnership with Unity, and you can create Lego games with Unity, which is basically just with like a few clicks and drags and a few parameters and stuff.
So it's like a builder on top of Unity. So like
let me see if I can find it.
Oh, that sounds interesting. I'll have to play around with that.
Lego
I like that
Unity.
Idea. There's a YouTube channel from a creator. I think his name's Fat Dino, like Fat Dino. And he goes through and makes clones of old shitty games, like with modern graphics and ray tracing and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
And he creates like a new video every couple of weeks, but it usually takes him about 1 week. Like he created a 3D version, a fully immersive 3D version of Among Us with assets, everything 3D modeled in the ship, everything. And he created that. Now he can't release any of his content because obviously he's cloning these games, which would be illegal.
Although people are doing that all over Roblox. Yeah. There's tons of like ripoffs of all like, Call of Duty and stuff like that there.
Yeah. So if you know what you're doing, like in Unity, in Unity, if you know what you're doing, like, the basics of the platform, you can pretty much it's a sandbox. You can do whatever you want. Like this dude, there's even a free asset store. Did you see that in Unity now? There's a free asset store where you can go search for models of people that are already all wired up.
Oh yeah.
You can find cars
and Unreal has
tanks.
that.
Yep.
Unreal has that crazy character generator thing where you can just get these lifelike. It's so beautiful. Like it's coming along. I mean, so Elsa was saying that she's done some game programming with Scratch. Scratch is great. And if you like that stuff, Elsa, check out that link I just put in, the D Hewlett link, because that's the Lego Unity stuff. And I went through the first few tutorials on that. And it's just kind of fun because you're literally in charge of your own little Lego game. It's a great way to learn.
That's really cool. I'm actually
in a weird way, you're not learning coding. You're just learning how to use their application. And I think which is a little sad. I wish there was some kind of consistency on this stuff. But because I worry that if you spend too much time in, like, they're basically getting them while they're young, get them using Unity so that Unity is what they're going to program with later on. But Unity is a great platform, and it's for starting out, it's fantastic. I think the commissions go up a bit later on, but
I think the rule is you have to make over $100,000 a year to require a license.
And if you make it over $100,000 with gaming, you know what? I'm sure you'd be able to figure something out.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty tall order. And that's coming from somebody who's developed a fair many games that have been on both iOS, Android, and on Windows Phone, of all places.
Well, and it's more competitive now, right? Because there are tools now to get stuff out there. There is a lot more. There's a lot more stuff to wade through. I was talking to my friend Q, Quentin, who does Cooking with Q. He's actually, I should put his link in here too. So he's a guy who does experimental cooking, everything from like fermentation to, like literally like almost like chemistry in the kitchen and stuff like that. And he's just been basically post every day on Instagram. He's got YouTube videos. He's doing, curing his own meats or tons and tons of stuff. He also has SMA type 2, so he can't move. So it's just his caregivers and his parents under his instruction and tutelage, creating all these amazing things, which he then photographs and talks about and stuff. That's like really that. Cool. So let me get you his. He's a great. Everyone should be following him.
Is that what? Sure. There's a name for that where they do like the modern cooking with like vacuum chambers. So it's like gastronomy.
Yeah, he does a lot of that. Like, was it? Molecular gastronomy.
That's what it is. Yeah. We have a book somewhere in the house on that, but it's like we have none of the equipment to do it. It's like you need a vacuum chamber. I'm like, I don't have a vacuum chamber in my kitchen.
You can spend a freaking fortune. Yeah. So Q has things like, what are they called? The sous vides and all that kind of stuff that keep the exact temperatures and stuff. And
by the way, if you've never had a sous vide steak, people, oh my God, you're missing out. I have yet to find a better way to prepare a steak.
It's so good.
It's like I've only had like 3 in my entire life, and every single time it was like a game-changing experience. And oh my gosh. So, and they're not expensive either. You can buy what do they call them? Like what are they? Immersion heater or whatever, little sous vide things. They're like what, $80, $70, $80. They're pretty damn cool.
Yeah, people, do me a favor, go check him out because he's working really freaking hard. And I mean, imagine doing this during the pandemic from an island from Vancouver Island, with basically up until the fact that I think he's been vaccinated now, but with a threat at all times that that this is it for him. Because frankly, if someone like you gets COVID, that's it. Like, talk about underlying conditions. This is the one. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm not saying see it because it's interesting stuff, but it's just also an interesting story as well. And he's just a really smart guy. He's got some cool stuff going on, so you should check him out.
Well, I'm tweeting him out right now, see if I can get some people to subscribe here.
Sweet.
So I said, go subscribe to this epic dude's channel if you're a foodie. Because he's a foodie. Let me see if I can find
he's got an Instagram too. He's much hipper than I am. I never do the Instagram thing.
It's really cool. Let me see if he's got a Twitter, because then I'll tag him too.
Oh yeah, he's on Twitter as well. But it's called like Brainstorm Sci or something.
Here, I'll find it too. Oh, I got it. Yep, Brainstorms. Wow, you good memory. It is Brainstorm Sci. All right, so I just followed him. I'm gonna go add that to the tweet.
So we were working on. I wanted to do a documentary with him. That was the whole plan. Was to do this thing called Upgrade Required, which was his sort of bid to use technology to allow him to do more stuff, because that's just like a pet thing for me. I love the idea of assistive technology.
Dude, just imagine like Neuralink tied into 2 robotic arms attached to like a counter that could move back and forth. I was talking to Gimpy G. Oh my God, dude.
Gimpy G was talking about that. We got to get Gimpy G on here someday. Because I was talking to him about that as well. I mean, he's like, sign me up. I'm like, Elon Musk, come on, dude. There's a guy willing to put 2 of your damn chips in his head. And so he can, play video games and have a couple of arms on his wheelchair. It's freaking cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think I'd sign up for it. Honestly,
I think I would too. Honestly,
I'm a bit of I know that's like a big freaking gamble, but I think it's proven itself well enough. Like I worry a little bit about the whole upgrade thing. Like, you get it done and then the new one comes out and you're like, oh, well, I want that one. I just want a Neuralink so I can put a light on my wife's nightstand that just illuminates when I'm feeling like I'm in the mood. That way I don't have to do any of the crazy, like, kind of testing the waters and like moving in and trying to be all suave and shit. And I just want a light to just be like, ding, so that she clearly knows. She just clearly see there. And then it'll go out when I'm done. Just like, ding. And then I think that would be brilliant. I think every guy on the planet would like instantly go and buy that sumbitch. Be the greatest thing ever. Like, I mean, maybe it doesn't even need to be a Neuralink. Maybe just a wristband thing where like your blood pressure spikes up 20 points and your heart rate takes off when you're just sitting there doing nothing. Maybe that's enough, right?
Well, that's what they're hoping to do with the smartwatches, right? I can't find them on Instagram Instagram sucks. I just don't like Instagram. Trying to find Gimpy G? Yeah, no, I'm trying to find. Well, we do Gimpy G as well, but Q, the Cooking with Q on Instagram. There's a lot of them, it seems. Cooking with Q.
Oh wait, no, I already found them. Here, I'll give you the link. Right here.
What did I do wrong? I've got them on YouTube.
You're trying to find them on Twitter, or where were you trying to find them?
Oh, there you go. I got them. I was typing. Never mind. It wants you to log in. That's why. Screw that. I'm not logging in. Log in this. I'll put the link in though, so we got it. There we go. Yeah, and then Gimpy G's getting close to some gaming. We've been playing some Magic the Gathering.
Dude, Magic the Gathering is an addictive thing.
Oh my God, I love it.
And like, that's why I don't play not Minecraft, sorry. World of Warcraft. I got so tied up in that. I was literally like, I'm surprised I didn't buy a shit bucket. Like, seriously. Like,
that's what I didn't. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I knew it was going to be a problem. But
and then the problem is, like, all my friends would play while I was at work, like when they were at their time off, and then I had to play catch up. Like, I'd come home from work, be up to like 4 a.m. trying to get up to their level, because if you get too far away from them, then you go into a mission and basically you just get your ass handed to you. So you have to like stand back and let them do everything. And oh my God, did that like almost ruin my life? So that's why a lot of people ask me why I don't play.
Is handing me my ass every day, every game now, because he's on there working out the decks and all this kind of stuff. It's a great game though. I got to say, it's a game that it seems a little overwhelming to start. And then the more you get into it, the more horribly addictive and complicated it gets. So, and it's also just fun because we hop on Discord. You can just chat while you're playing. It's great.
Yeah, I used to play in person. Like, I had a deck. Like, I wasn't a crazy person that had crazy decks, but I had a pretty decent deck back in the day. And I'd go to school and play, and the teachers would take them away from us and shit, and then get them all mixed up, and we'd get all angry.
Well, there'd be like so many fights because you're trading cards, and like all of a sudden you find out that's worth $100. I want it back.
Dude, we had a teacher that would literally just take your deck. and not even like wrap a rubber band around or not, just take it and just chuck it in a drawer with a bunch of other decks that they confiscated at the same time. So everybody's cards would just be mixed together, and then you'd get them back at the end of the day, and you're like, what's mine and what's theirs? Like, you just have to go fishing through them. Oh, dude, it was so stupid. Man, that was like the deterrent, like, not to play Magic when you're not supposed to be playing Magic. It's like they take your deck and just mix it in with everybody else's shit. Those were the days, though. Back then, you get away with a lot more. Like, I remember when I took a BB gun to school and was like shooting cans out on the play yard.
Yeah,
and like the recess teacher comes over and just takes your BB gun away and gives it back to you at the end of the day when you get on the school bus. Like, here, okay, you can have your loaded weapon back as you're getting on the school bus. Yeah,
give the spud gun, the potato spud gun.
Yeah, if that happened today, dude, like seriously, the FBI would be like dropping out of a Black Hawk helicopter coming after your ass.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, no, we also made movies about shooting our teachers.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, you make a movie about shooting a teacher now, you're not going to film school.
I was going to say that probably shuts down your career opportunities really fast in this day and age.
Yeah, we did the first film I did with Vincenzo, who went on to do Cube and In the Tall Grass and all that stuff. Wow, Johnny Winter's going crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Because he's making money on Doge.
100 kroners, man. Said, sorry, have to flex, bro. $1,500 on Dogecoin last night, and today I bought a Vegas 64, $270. Now mined like hell, and I'll make it back in 2 MD. Sorry, what's sorry, man? You just gave us money. Thank you. There's no sorry about that. Yeah, Doge, man. If you bought Doge, like even just yesterday, if you bought Doge yesterday and just let it ride and sold it, you just tripled your money in one night. Like, I'm getting so many people that are messaging me that are like, oh my God, dude, I just sold, my Doge that was worth like $1,000. I had $1,000 of Doge and I sold it for like $3,000 after like one day. And I'm like, wow, man, I'm surprised that there's actually that much market volume to do that. But apparently I was wondering what made it like take off. I think it was
you mine Doge?
Yeah, you can, but it's not profitable. Like it's not a profitable thing to mine. But you can, but there's a constant supply of it. That's the reason why everybody's afraid that Doge isn't going to go anywhere. Is one, it started as a joke coin, and two, there's like an infinite number of coins that can be mined. Like the difficulty doesn't increase. Like the same amount of coins are generated like every 30 seconds on the network or every minute or whatever it is. So because of that, there's no real scarcity to the currency. So it's more like a fiat currency where it's like you basically just keep printing more and more money and try to keep pace with inflation best you can. Whereas like with Bitcoin, you have a finite resource that becomes more and more finite each time it splits, each time a division happens on the network. And then ultimately in like 2040, there's no more Bitcoin. Like every Bitcoin that's ever going to be made is made.
To become more valuable, right?
Yeah. So they're saying that if you look at the current trend since the beginning of Bitcoin, it should hit about $400,000 or $500,000 like per coin by the time the divisions are done. And it could go as high as $1 million. So
unless something goes wrong.
But like, what can go wrong at this point? That's the thing, is so high.
It depends how much you invest, right? If you invest like $100, then nothing can go wrong. I mean, if you can afford to lose $100, then great.
Right.
But yeah. Elon Musk, Jesus Christ. I mean, someone get him off Twitter. Like,
I know, I've never seen somebody manipulate so many financial markets that the SEC can't touch. Like he does it in a way.
Email me before he tweets. That's all. Is that so much to ask?
Dude, he's literally manipulated the Tesla stock like 3 different times on Twitter. And the SEC like fined him, I think, 1 of the 3 times. Yeah. And he had to step down as like the CEO or whatever, but he was still on the board.
And stop tweeting about it.
But apparently. He still does it like every freaking day. Like Doge, he literally he just tweets out about Doge. Like Doge needs to go to the moon, and it just does. The dude literally just commands an army of buying power. It's absolutely wild. So yeah, if you're on Twitter and you see Elon Musk tweet something stupid about like something should go up or something should go down, either prepare for it to bottom out so you can buy as much as humanly possible. Or go watch it like a hawk until it peaks and then dump it. Like, I mean, obviously if you're holding long term, because it's not going to last forever. Whenever he does this, it's just a spike and then it eventually goes away. And I'm sure he's capitalizing on it. That's the only reason why he's tweeting it, is because, I'm sure he has somebody already did the work and figured out that he's got literally tens of millions of Dogecoins. Yeah. So
imagine what he just. Like that's like I guess that's my concern with a lot of the cryptos as well. You just go like, what happens? Or he suddenly goes, you know what? We think Bitcoin's dead. Tesla's not going to take it anymore. Yeah, I'm out. And then all of a sudden you're like, yoinks, because his run up is finished, right? He's out now or whatever.
Yeah. So Roman Lubers actually said something in chat. He said Bitcoin doesn't have universal acceptance being outlawed in countries and government regulations are its two major obstacles. Kind of, but not really. Because the whole thing about
it's also
Bitcoin,
the advantage to some extent. It makes it a safe haven for this stuff, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, the thing is, like, Bitcoin, as long as it's directly transferable between two parties, you don't need a financial institution. So even if a country bans it and says this is absolutely illegal, you can't have this or whatever, there's still nothing stopping you from creating an anonymous Bitcoin wallet and using it to buy goods and services. There's also nothing stopping somebody from selling you goods and services illegally through Bitcoin using like an anonymous middleman. I mean, that's why Silk Road exists. I mean, people literally buy drugs and have them like shipped to their house, you know, through anonymous channels using Bitcoin transactions.
Silk Road's not still going, is it?
Yeah, it's like up to like 8 now. Yeah, it's still going. Every time it gets popped, it just comes back again.
Really?
Yeah, they're like on the 7th or 8th iteration.
The dread pirate Roberts is back again.
Yeah, and the problem is like it's the reason they keep getting popped is because somebody makes a mistake. That's what it is. It's literally all it takes is one mistake, right? And then you can trace everything back to every single wallet that's ever transacted to that site.
Oops.
Yeah.
I
so like
the wrong IP.
Yeah. One guy fucks up and doesn't start up his VPN or logs in under a real live account on his machine and connects to it. It's like he just outed the entire network. So, so they keep getting popped like over and over and over again, but they just keep coming back because it's just too profitable. I mean, you're talking about a business that probably is responsible for like, 10% of freaking Bitcoin's value, globally. Is for like illicit shit. But that's true for every currency. People are like, oh my God, Bitcoin. No, it's
American dollar.
Yeah. What do you
Jesus
think like
Christ.
drug dealers like do? It's cash. It's a cash transaction.
Every
to cut
movie
out
you've ever seen that involves drug dealers has like, pallets of fucking American money.
Yeah, because I have people messaging me all the time saying, oh, cryptocurrency is never going to work because, it's used for just illegal and malicious shit. It's like, dude, have you ever seen what cash is used for? Like, you probably have a $20 bill in your wallet right now that was used to snort coke at some point. Like, it's like...
didn't they say at some point that basically every bill you had trace cocaine on it or something?
Yep. Every single bill that's in circulation currently has some trace amount of cocaine on it from being in proximity of another bill that had cocaine on it. So,
well, and I'm wondering how much of this stuff is going to be used anymore anyways now, because like who the fuck uses cash anymore?
Yeah, it's
certainly not during COVID. I never use it anymore. I'm done.
Businesses don't want you. Like, this is the weird thing is like it used to be businesses wanted to use the cash because it was under the table. But the problem is it's not under the table really anymore for most businesses because they still need to store it in a bank or they still need to use it to pay for things. And those things become increasingly harder to pay for cash. Like you don't just go down to your utility and pay cash. Like I want to pay cash for my cable service. I want to pay cash.
Most places won't take it.
They're phasing it all out now. So now even though you can get the cash to bypass the government, you can't bypass the flow of the cash out of your account for legitimate goods and services, which means that ultimately the IRS is going to see it on its way out. And that's going to fuck up their books and they're going to audit you. So like
MD Hofsty says the US dollar bill has more cocaine value than the USD value.
Probably. I bet you if you worked it out, like it's probably true. Somebody should create like a money laundering scheme where they actually just like sort through the dollars and blow it off with a leaf blower and then like collect the coke residue.
Right.
And then, it's
like panning for gold, only you're doing it with coke.
Exactly. It's like that company that Linus had made the controller or whatever, the solid gold controller. Did you see that? So he made an $80,000 solid gold Xbox controller out of like solid gold. Like it was gold and a little bit of tin or something mixed together to give it some structural rigidity. But he made a solid gold functioning Xbox controller for like 80 grand.
Wow.
And
how do you pick that sucker up? You'd be able to
he said it was
like
heavier than shit. I believe it too.
Yeah.
So, but he said that the company that makes it, that does all this gold casting and everything, they need to make sure they don't have money going out the door. So they all have like brushes on the floor that they got to like rub their feet on. They got like fans blowing down to get the dust off them from like, polishing gold and stuff. And all that shit that just falls to the floor and gets collected in the brushes every year, they reclaim it and it ends up being tens of thousands of dollars of gold.
Wow.
Like that's how much would just walk out the door from just dust from sanding shit and polishing stuff, just getting on people's clothing. It's crazy how much they can recoup. And
apply that to plastics. And then all of a sudden you realize what the plastic problem is in the planet, right?
Oh yeah.
When all that plastic dust is in the air, is in the, from an environmental standpoint, if you think about how much money that gold is worth, how much of that plastic is being the same thing, it's just being basically, turned into microplastics and blown around the planet and stuff. Like eventually we're just going to be.
Well, have you ever seen so there's a documentary that talks about Polaroid and the nuclear tests. Did you ever see that? So
No.
Polaroid one year back when we first started testing the atomic bomb, this is before we dropped bombs on Japan. This is like when it's still super secret, right? Like nobody's supposed to know about this. Every time they do a test, they tell everybody it was an earthquake, you know, that kind of shit.
Right.
Polaroid noticed that all their film in their 2 locations in the United States at both ends were having spots on them. So they were shipping film and it was being exposed in its packaging to basically the what do they call them? The gamma rays basically shooting off of the explosion of the particles from the actual nuclear blast were making it so far that they were contaminating the film that was shipping around the world. But it goes further than that. The nuclear explosions created new exotic particles. Like tritium, and there's a couple of there are now you can find them naturally occurring, but there's like a different variant of them that happened from the explosion.
Right.
And these isotopes spread so far throughout the world that fast forward like 20 years, every single thing that has come into existence since that nuclear blast has some level of that inside of it. Like literally started from the beginning. Like literally if you like went and had another kid right now, that kid would be born with trace amounts of those elements in his body, never having even existed when that explosion happened. Because that's how far reaching the particles were. And they're even at a detectable level. So it's funny because they found actually legit uses for this. Like that's how you date wine. Like if you want to know a wine is incredibly rare, you find a wine that does not have these isotopes present.
Pre-isotope. Oh my God.
If it has the isotopes, it means like if somebody's trying to forge a wine.
Screwed.
So they use it literally for like carbon dating, right? Like it's the carbon dating a wine. You basically just look at the isotope and the concentration.
What was the name of the movie? What was the name of the movie?
It was a documentary. It's on Netflix. It's like, hold on here. Let's see here. Nuclear.
Because I would watch that for sure.
Explosions, Kodak. Let me see if I can find it here. So, okay. This arrangement was worked until August 1945, when Kodak employees noticed the film was fogging. Investigating the phenomenon, one of the scientists working at Kodak determined that there must have been a nuclear explosion on U.S. soils, as the Trinity test was still top secret at the time, and this was a huge discovery. So they actually outed him. So Kodak actually outed him for that. Like, that one time when Kodak accidentally discovered the A-bomb testing. Damn it, where's the Netflix thing? Oh, here we go. This is actually the Veritasium
Part of this video was sponsored by HBO Max.
Well, here, I'll put the link in chat. This is the Veritasium video on it. I think this may have been the one I watched, but there is one on Netflix where they talk about it.
We can now all watch the video together. There will be notes later.
Yeah, so there's also a documentary on Netflix that doesn't just talk about this. It talks about like the entire nuclear program and the Manhattan Project. And one of the segments of it was how it like contaminated all of Kodak's film. And it was such a detriment to their business that the US government actually subsidized them for a long period of time, and also agreed to notify them whenever there was going to be another nuclear test, so that they could basically put the film into like isolation, like in the ground or somewhere where these particles would not reach and damage the film. So they wouldn't manufacture film during that time. So it's so crazy because it was X-ray film. That's what it was. It was Kodak made X-ray film for X-ray.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, of course.
And it was being exposed by the radiation.
Dude, where the hell's Kodak? Like they used to own this planet.
That's true. The
They're digital still around. Just killed them.
Dude, I shit you not. Like a year ago, they made a digital camera. I literally saw one for sale like on Amazon. And I was like, Kodak?
We think this is the future.
It's wild.
We think this digital might take off.
Yep.
Just yeah.
That's what it is.
The kids like their Polaroids.
So EMI actually told me the isotope. It's strontium-90 is the element that they look for in wine. And strontium-90 exists in everything, like literally everything that was manufactured after that date of that first nuclear test in 1945 has some level of strontium-90 in it. Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. They're like everything on this planet, like somehow over time gets exposed to everything. Like the background radiation on our planet has been affected by every nuclear event that's ever happened, has raised the background radiation of the planet by a noticeable amount. It's not by a ton. It's not by like a ridiculous amount, but it is noticeable. When Fukushima melted down, it was noticeable. When Chernobyl, blew its stack, it was noticeable. Like it pushed back.
Yeah, there was a cloud of freaking dust that's sort of floating over Sweden or something, and they're like, did something happen? No, all good here. We got it all done. It's all sorted.
Yeah. Why are satellites showing that thing glowing for more? I mean, nobody would get away with it today. I mean, with the we have an entire radiation detection grid in Earth orbit now. So we've had it forever. I think it was like a part of Star Wars or whatever back in like the 90s. But we can detect radiation from orbit now. Like as long as it's not contained in a lead sarcophagus or it's under 10 feet of water, like these satellites can pick up like pretty low level radiation.
Which is too bad because apparently there's a bunch of dumped submarines up in the Arctic, right? Apparently Russia used to, whenever they wanted to decommission one of their nuclear vessels and didn't want anyone to find them, they would literally just scuttle them in the Arctic. Yeah,
that's fucked up. That is so fucked up.
So and what's funny is it's come back to bite them in the ass because when you start doing drilling in the Arctic, looking for oil, looking for those last old oil reserves, you got to be careful where you drill because if you do hit one of these, you're in big trouble, right?
Dude, like one of these times they're going to be drilling down that the bit's going to be like, push through it, guys, push through it. And then all of a sudden the Geiger counters are like, get the fuck away, get the fuck away, run.
Well, and they also didn't document where they were done. So they were done, and then they booted out of there, and there's no record of where they actually were dumped. So, I'm sure the Americans are doing the same thing, but I know that I did research for a show I wanted to do about the Arctic, and there were just all these really cool different things that would link together to make for a kind of a fun series, and one of them was the idea of these oil rigs finding these like, what is that? There's something underneath us that. I don't get it. And then, of course, it ends up being like an old sub or something, right?
Yeah.
And then mutants and aliens and monsters. Early detection system was first switched on. It mistook the sun rising over the horizon for an attack from the U.S. Wow.
That's how we learn, man. That's how we learn.
Yeah.
No, it's wild, like the level of detection we have now. Like submarines, like the dragnet that we have on like the East Coast and the West Coast for detecting submarines. Right. Like from the cavitation, because that's the one problem none of them can solve. Like Russia can make a submarine that's nearly invisible because of its titanium hull absorbs a lot of energy. So when you hit it with radar pulse, you don't get as big of a cross section back. But they cannot solve cavitation. That's like you'd make $1 trillion if you could solve cavitation, because that's what gives them all away. Because cavitation creates such a violent, distinct sound that travels so far that you can literally pick it up with these really sensitive underwater microphones. From like 100 miles away. So like you can tell where a submarine is, like its general vicinity, as long as it's running.
Because it's just moving water.
It's just moving water, and the prop pushing that water with that much mass compresses the water and causes it to boil. And that's where you get that cavitation. You basically have this really, really turbulent, like it literally sounds like hissing on a microphone, but it's so distinct, and no animal in nature creates it at the same consistency that a submarine does. So you can detect a submarine, like it doesn't matter. It could be the most advanced submarine on planet Earth, and they cannot solve this damn cavitation problem. And they can move really, really slow to reduce the cavitation to get closer. But the microphones are so damn good at picking this shit up. It's like they know where a submarine is, like with 100 miles of these microphones. And
you got AI that I'm sure could pick out that noise out of anything.
Yep. And then if it comes up to the surface, go ahead.
Sorry, Miss Liz was saying that apparently Kodak in 2018 tried to create a cryptocurrency for photographers back in 2018.
Wow, they were on that early.
The Kodak coin, and failed, which seems like kind of a. There you go. So Miss Liz says, 2018, Kodak announced plans to launch Kodacoin, photographer-oriented blockchain cryptocurrency. LUL. LUL, is that laugh out loud?
It's like laugh out loud with you. It's like lols.
Oh, I see.
That's
coffee. What a great idea. I might just grab a coffee very quickly. I'll have to wrap up soon after 3 because I've got my lads chat again.
Well, why do you gotta be a little bitch like that, David? No, I'm just kidding. Go get your coffee.
Could be my friend in London.
Go get your coffee. Go get it.
Go get it. Go on. Go fetch. Go get it.
Go get it, boy. Go get it.
Wait a minute. You can see my pajamas. Oh, there you go.
Oh, sweet, man. Pajama crew.
Love it. The latest in pajama wear.
No, dude. Oh, Scruffy. Oh my God. If you want to know about submarines, go watch Destin from Smarter Every Day. He actually got to go on board a Boomer class submarine. I can't remember which one it was. But the way that they can actually, they talk about some, they don't talk about all of it, obviously, because a lot of it's classified, but they talk about how they use sound and microphones all over the hull of the submarine to pinpoint anything with deadly accuracy. Like literally just using sound underwater from active and passive radar, they can like pinpoint something that's literally like a foot by a foot by a foot, and target it and actually shoot it while it's moving and while they're moving, and actually plot where it's going to be based on like how it's moving and its speed that it's moving. And they can, hydroponics, exactly. And they can like track multiple targets. It's so freaking crazy, man. It's so crazy. And the thing is, they train their guys to visualize this shit by watching a screen with an audio histogram. So they can literally watch a screen where all the points of sound are converging and everything. And it just looks like this random garbage, but it's like them reading the Matrix. These guys can look at it, and looking at it, they can tell exactly where a contact is outside of the submarine, how far it is, how fast it's closing towards them. Is it moving alongside them, away from them, or towards them? I mean, enough that they could actually get a bearing and fire a torpedo and blow it up. Like, to me, that just blows my mind. Like, it's absolutely wild that they can do that. And they talk about how a submarine can stay underwater pretty much indefinitely. So a submarine makes its own air. It desalinates its own water. Its own electricity is generated by a nuclear power plant that only needs to be refueled like every couple of years. And honestly, the only reason it needs to be refueled is because it becomes so radioactive over time that they can no longer shield it. So they pull the core and let it cool off. But it's crazy to think that the only thing that keeps them from staying under indefinitely is food. That's the one thing they have to store food. So when they run out of food, they have to surface for resupply. But other than that, they can stay down for 6 months with a full complement. Isn't that wild? Could you imagine being on a submarine at depth, never breaching the surface for 6 months, like just living under the sea for 6 months? That blows my mind. That absolutely blows my mind. Yeah, Smarter Every Day. It's a YouTube channel. You should go check it out. It's amazing. Hey, Kevlar, what's up, dude? He said Houston's brother Eric just found a Vietnam-era anti-personnel bomblet in Black Diamond. It's on his Instagram. What the fuck? What?
What?
So Houston's brother found a freaking anti-personnel bomb in Black Diamond. That's a place near where I live. It's on Instagram. Wow. Hey, Adam, shoot us a link. I got to see that. That's crazy. MD Hofsey said the U.S. Navy in World War II used mechanical computers to do fire control methods. In fact, the USN would have created a mess for Japan Navy had they had working torpedoes. Dude, we've done some weird shit. Like some of the weird shit that I've seen is like, did you ever see the chicken guided bomb? That's the funny. Pigeon. That's the funniest shit. Oh, was it a pigeon? It was a pigeon. Okay.
Yeah. So they trained it to peck at the dot. It's freaking brilliant.
Oh my God, dude. Every time I see this, like if somebody told me,
what could go wrong?
If I didn't see the actual declassified videos from the project, I would never believe it if somebody told me this, no matter how drunk they are. So let me tell you the story. Yeah. So, okay, you want to get a guided bomb back before radio control. So this is before the radio control era where you have like cameras and telemetry. Obviously, there's not a camera small enough at this point to put on a bomb. So you don't have a guided bomb. You basically just drop it, you estimate your speed that you're going forward, and you hope it hits the target. Well, that's not really good when you're trying to target shit that's moving around and turning on the sea. So the first guided bomb that they tried to create had a pigeon with a window in the front of it. And they literally trained the pigeon to peck buttons to guide the bomb towards the target because they got a treat for every time they pushed a button that would align the bomb on its target. And so these pigeons would literally think they're getting a treat by pushing the buttons in the bomb, and the bomb would actually change direction and angle to hit the target.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being the dude that's training a pigeon like to commit suicide to blow up the enemy? It's just a weird job.
Humans were doing it too, right?
That is true.
Just not quite as. No, it's fascinating though, because I mean the idea of mixing organics with technology. I mean, I know that's a very rough, stupid way of doing it, but I watched an amazing lecture or thesis thing last night where this kid was talking about how he'd gone into additive manufacturing and how he was trying to figure out different ways of doing it. So you got the obvious 3D printing, then you got like the cement printing of buildings, but that's kind of, it's a bit wonky right now because of the different types of like different drying levels. And you got to get the fill proper. Then he looked into like foam, using like foam as an outside layer that could then be filled with cement or whatever, and then metal. And he started using chains. So what's the like a very simple way of creating structures? He had these chains, and the robot would just go through and spot weld the chain, and then the chain would take on form, and then you could use that to build whatever you're building. So it's just all these really, really cool things. And then eventually he got into this thing where he had like Google paid them to put together this robot that basically sprayed foam and created a dome system all on its own, and then just went and parked itself. It was just really, and the idea was to get to a point where you could potentially start tying these things into organic stuff. So could you have a robot that shows up on site? This is something else that he was doing, that would show up on site, dig a hole, mix the dirt with some of the surrounding grass and whatever, and schlup it all together into a form, plant things in it that would then grow and tie it together with its roots. So you'd go, okay, yes, your house is finished growing now. You can move in. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Isn't that neat? So like a mycelium maybe, or just something that could be used to sort of just like pull this all together. And the idea that we could start using organics to create these very, very complex things that we just can't do because of the time and the cost associated with trying to do this stuff on a sort of a
kind of reminds me of like the sci-fi shows with like the ships, like on Star Trek stuff, like the idea of the organic ship where you use DNA to form a structure that's like self-sustaining. And it's got its own propulsion system built in and everything, because you just build it to like fart, and that's the warp drive. You know,
oh, dude,
like,
you should read Ancillary Justice. So Ancillary Justice has these. I mean, they're not biological, but they are basically these are spaceships that are tied directly to the people in them. So the spaceship is run by the people within this system. They're also like cloned to work in these ships. Then of course, what happens when one of them? What happens when one of them goes down? There's a war, they get shot down. What happens if you've got the human survivors of a ship, of people who are tied to a ship that no longer exists?
That's
so
wild,
really cool.
Man.
Yeah. I love science fiction.
So it's kind of like the Titans in Pacific Rim, right? Where they're like tied into it mentally. So if it gets damaged or hurt, they literally feel it. Like they're at one with the machine's nervous system. Yes.
Or the poor knockoff Kong versus Godzilla, where they do exactly the same thing without any of that boring science stuff.
Exactly. You know what's pretty badass though is, have you seen those concrete tents that the military uses?
Ooh.
So basically they figured out how to dope a material with concrete, like this concrete dust that basically is like expanding foam that sets as concrete. And what they do is you basically just set up a little generator with a pump on it. You pump up the tent, so this big, and they can make them huge. These things are massive. They pump them up and it creates an arch. Like the, you know, have you ever seen like a bunker, right? That so that it's like resistant. That's the strongest structure that you can create it with, is that arch, right? So they blow the tent up, and then once they blow it up, they just spray it down with a hose. And when you spray it down with a hose, the water activates the concrete shit inside of the fabric, and it basically expands a little and then sets. And then what you do is you just take the pump off, and you have a concrete structure that's reinforced. And then you bury it. You basically just take the dirt and sand around it and push it up and bury it up on the sides. And that way, any wind coming across or any weather, any storms or whatever, you basically create this bunker that can withstand like bomb blasts and stuff. As long as it doesn't directly hit it, the tent would offer you some level of protection against ordnance.
Dude, I do that in my backyard in a second. Just dig a hole, put in one of those tents, cement it. I'm done.
You can
this is my
buy
Tech Bandits headquarters.
You can buy them, but they're stupid expensive. I went and looked them up one time, and it's like to buy one of these tents, like the small ones or whatever, was like $1,200 for like a little one, like a camping tent. The big ones I'm guessing are probably tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it is the military after all that's buying these things. So
it's also cheaper than, as long as it's cheaper than digging a hole and having to build and support and structure it.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the shape of it, because as long as you pack the dirt in on top of it and then you pack the dirt, basically that arch distributes all the weight, so it only has to be like this thick. It's pretty wild, man. So they just inflate them and spray them with a hose. That's it.
That is kind of neat. Although I suppose if you're going to dig a hole in the backyard for a Tech Bandits base, anyways, you could just dig a domed structure and then cement the walls, right? Then that would hold it back, and you'd have a supported
structure. That's what they do in mining operations. Actually, is they'll dig the tunnel a little ways, and then they just go in there with it's like concrete mixed with like hay or some kind of fibrous material, fiberglass or whatever. It's probably not fiberglass, but like hay or some kind of structural element. They spray it on the walls, and then that basically holds it so it doesn't droop. And then when it sets, it stops things from falling in on the miners and stops the collapse. It basically gives you some structural support. It's wild.
I have a mycelium thing. Let me see. I'm going to grab it.
Ooh, I want to see this.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly, Shalindy. It's like an epoxy. You mix the water and it activates it, and then it creates like that thermolytic response or whatever, and then it sets. So and whatever the structure is, it sets. That's crazy.
This is a...
Oh, I know what that is. Yep.
This is a hemp substrate. So it's hemp mixed with like a powdered mycelium. You put water in it.
Then you get those little things, right? The like little what is it? The mycelial network or whatever starts growing.
Yeah. So the mycelium, so the mycelium grows in this. You then take it out of this, form it into whatever you want, let it grow a little bit more, so it solids itself up, fills in all the gaps. Then you bake it, and it just goes rock hard, and it's like pottery.
Wow.
So you can start building. So technically, you could build like a freaking house out of that.
Yeah,
or
actually,
bricks or whatever.
We've learned a lot from mushrooms, man. Like I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that the largest organism on planet Earth that has been discovered is
like
a
mycelium?
fungus. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's a
it's like a
mycelium
mycelium
network that's like the
structure.
size of a state. It's like massive.
Well, they're saying it's being used by the trees to communicate information, like who needs water and who needs nutrients, and
yeah, they call it like, what is it, the symbolic relationship or whatever. Yeah, it's like the network is used by the trees, and then the mycelium gets something from the trees that they need, like in return of using their network. It's like weird.
There was a book about this that I wanted to read.
They can also notify each other of danger too. That was the other thing that was cool, is like if there was like something bad happening to like the mushrooms, they could actually instantaneously broadcast that information to the rest of the network so that they could attempt to protect themselves.
It's like, instead of a social network, it's the mycelium network.
It is. It's the mycelium network. Like
it's
literally,
like,
it's
they're like the
Star Trek
Facebook of
Discovery.
nature, or
Yeah,
the Google of
much.
nature, or the
Well, the thing was, I was like watching a show where they were talking about how in the future we may be able to figure out how those, because it is a chemical signal. Like the signal that travels along the network is like this chemical signal that moves very, very fast. So it's like not quite like fiber optic fast, but it's fast. And we were like, what if you could tap into that? What if you could literally clamp a thing onto the mushrooms and have a fucking 802.11 or have a physical wired network to a house that's 10 blocks away? Because when they came in and built the housing development, they just planted a bunch of mushrooms, created this giant network that covered the area, then built houses on top of it, and then used the self-healing network that will always try to find and reconnect itself if it gets severed. And you're basically transmitting data across it.
No, it's brilliant. I mean, like the idea of like, I don't understand why we're not. Look, we talked about this, I think, in an earlier one, where it's like we're trying to slap things on our head and our ears in order to communicate. What we should just be hacking the signal.
Right.
We can hack the signal out of the brain. We don't need any of this crap.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that Hans said called the Wood Wide Web.
The Wood Wide Web, exactly.
Because the trees using the mycelium network.
I love that, though. The mycelium network thing, like that. I love your idea about it being a network, of being able to get into the network, because we're able to do things like tie into the electrical systems, electrochemical systems in plants.
Yeah.
So you can actually have plants activated by a signal or vice versa. So if we could figure out the mycelium thing, that'd be freaking cool.
Yeah. Imagine having an organic network that if somebody like breaks a line digging a hole, it basically just forms a new one in a couple days around it. Like it just regrows because it has this natural tendency to want to rejoin the organism, right?
Or even a simpler to start, it could even just, if the signal is broken somewhere, the mycelium network could just alert you to where that happens.
Yeah. Kevlar Khan said, like 5 bits per hour. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not communicating like huge amounts of data in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean that you probably couldn't develop some kind of a technology to figure out how to transmit more data across it.
Well, or what about like, even if you just used it for things like, let's say there was a leak in a gas system or a leak in a water system or something, where, the mushrooms are a different color and can basically be used as a sensor to alert a network as to, potential breaks or whatever in systems like oil, like there's an oil leak. What if it could be like a system that why not tie some biology to the electrical technology that we're using? That again, that's the kind of stuff. I think that's why my love of assistive technologies is so, because I love the idea of mixing this organic. For some reason, the organic technology mix is just fascinating to me.
I think it's just the more you think about it, the more you realize the possibilities. Because then you start thinking about all these other technologies that you could, in theory, put together. Like imagine if you had Neuralink, right? And you had Neuralink tied into a wireless transmitter that then went and had a hub that took it from wireless to connect it to the mycelial network. And then the mycelial network goes through and connects to all the plants and everything in the neighborhood. And you literally just walk outside and think, it'd be cool if all these plants opened up and like bloomed today. And it's like, and you basically just have like this control over your natural environment because you're quite literally talking to the plants.
Yeah, and then someone's like pruning a plant and it starts screaming at you.
Oh yeah,
filling your head with the pain of the vegetable world.
See, that's why I think I want Neuralink to stay one directional for a while.
Borg Gardener.
I don't want people like hacking into my shit when I'm sleeping and like fucking with my brain. See, that's my biggest fear. Is like I'm okay with it picking up the electrical signals and using them for something, but if they were allowed to send those impulses back and they had sufficient probes throughout all the neurons in your brain, they could like fuck with all your sensory and perception of everything. Like
Well,
it's no
dude,
longer, yeah. Go ahead.
If they're being used like they're being used in what is it, the Pong playing monkey, the reality is that then they would be able to track your movement in a way on such at such a granular level.
Yeah.
They would know exactly what you were doing.
Yeah, it's literally like a nature security system. Like if you could tap into it, it'd be able to tell you everything.
Everything. There'd be no, they'd know if you're telling a lie. They'd know, they'd know everything. I mean, it's
like a sense for nature. It's like the thing that I have that I put on my power box on my house that uses heuristics and stuff to figure out, and AI learning to figure out when I turn a TV on or I turn a coffee pot on, based purely on the electrical draw in the moment and accounting for all the different noise and all the other system, all the things in the system, right? It's like if you can infer that much data from just looking at one dynamic data point that's moving all over the place, why couldn't you do that interfacing with something like a plant or interfacing with your lawn? Or it just seems like that would be easily possible. Like once you figured out how to decipher it.
Yeah, like once you figure out that certain signals are given off when your grass is about to kick it because it hasn't had enough water, you hit it with enough water, then you know exactly when it's had enough water, so you'd be saving water. You'd also, there's so many cool things there, all of which can be hacked and used for evil, of course, because that's what we would do. But I need to wrap it up soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got to go take a leak really quick. So why don't you give everybody all your information, all your contact information, what you're up to, where they can find you and all that stuff. And I'll be right back. And then we'll send you.
They can find me here every Saturday at.
No, you got to tell them where your shit is, bro.
My shit's everywhere. I guess thetechbandits.com. Check out thetechbandits.com because that's basically where I spend most of my time these days. I'll throw that in there. Other than that, I just really like dropping by every Saturday and hanging out with Mr. Barnacules and Aux. You know what I'm saying? It's just sort of a fun way to hang out. See, now you made it weird. Who made it weird? Did I make it weird? I didn't mean to make it weird. What are you saying? One of the creators of Doom. What's this? If one person. Yeah, exactly. Andreas. Yeah. Like that's the kind of weird thing, like where you could, when you start playing things back, there was that, I can't remember what the name of the movie was. Was it Inner Space? Not Inner Space. Something like that though. It was that weird movie where they had created like VR where you could you'd actually feel the things in VR. What was that movie?
Ready Player One?
You're too young, but no.
Don't you too young, me. I'm 41 years old, bitch.
It was called Inner Space. Yeah, a child. Inner Space. What was it? It was not Inner Space. It was called something else.
Inner Space was a good movie, though.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, that is a fantastic movie.
I'm not that old. Not Strange Days. It was
Lawnmower Man.
I can't remember the one, but it was so basically the idea was it was like a virtual reality system that they created, but it wasn't just for virtual reality. You also felt it, right? So I remember like as a teenager, I was like shocked by this guy who'd gone down to watch porn and hadn't come up in like 4 days, and of course this like old guy is just having a heart attack, lying there, just experiencing like the ultimate pleasure for too long, and his brain couldn't take it, man.
Oh, I don't recognize that movie. Good movie. Though.
It was pretty great. That was just one tiny little element of it, but you could tell what age I was by what I was focused on. I was like 13. It was like, oh my God, naked people.
Wait, Matt Berg said it. Wait, is it your birthday tomorrow?
Meh.
Oh, you old, so somebody outed you in chat, bro.
Bastard.
Oh my God. So how many?
Berg, come on.
How many years young are you, old man?
Brainstorm. That was it. Brainstorm. Watch Brainstorm.
Oh, Brainstorm. Let me write that down.
I mean, it'll be crap. It'll be total crap now.
My Hewlett list.
And thoroughly unimpressed.
What's it called? Brainstorm.
Yeah.
No, I love shitty movies. I watch like I watch old movies like Logan's Run and stuff, and still thoroughly enjoy it. So,
dude, I love shitty movies because that they not only do that, they also pay my bills. As I'm in most of them.
You're like, I recognize that guy.
Yeah. He looks like the father of the guy from
So before you go, we do have to all sing you happy birthday. It's obligatory now. I'm sorry.
It's tomorrow.
I'm sorry, but we have to, I'm not with you tomorrow, so we gotta sing it today. All right, guys, you ready? You gotta sing it with me, even though we can't hear you, okay? Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you Canadian horribly acting bastard. Happy birthday to you. Okay.
Oh, it's like having my own little Marilyn Monroe.
Well, actually, I'm like 7 Marilyn Monroes, but who's counting? You have yourself a happy birthday tomorrow.
Woman. I mean,
so wait, are you going to do a live streaming thing after this, or?
No. I'm just going to do. I've got my friends, my circle of white friends. My what do I call it? I call it like our Bond villains meeting, where just all the old white guys are getting together and chatting about the world and stuff.
You guys all bust out your little white cat and take over. Plans to take over Canada.
Basically. What an interesting idea, Mr. Bond. No, we break out our scones and coffee, and it's like kind of lame.
Did you say scones? Oh my God!
I said scones.
We just outed you for another Canadian accent word there. I don't know.
That's British.
Is that British? Okay, so we're getting a little mix here with the Zeds and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they don't say Zed and like they don't say that in the UK, right? Like Zed is a Canadian thing.
Zed is British, isn't it?
Oh, really?
Well, don't they say Zed in England?
Wait, so America is again the odd man out that does this as Z instead of Zed? Weird.
I thought it was a Z. The Brits say Z. Yeah.
Miss Liz said no birthday truffle shuffle though. I can't torture him like that, Miss Liz. I can't do it.
I can do without that.
I don't think he can handle the truffle shuffle.
The internet can't handle it.
Yeah, we'll save that for his next birthday though. Keep that on deck, Miss Liz. Remind me.
I'm not sure I want to know what the truffle. I think yeah.
You've seen the Goonies, right?
I think
but I don't do it. It's basically just just envision me as a shirtless lava lamp for at least 15 seconds. That's basically the truth.
Wow. We got to get the slow-mo guys on that.
Oh, totally. I'm game, man. If you ever talk to them, you let them know. If they want somebody to volunteer to whip themselves into a frenzy for a slow motion camera, I will do it all day long.
I would do that.
Absolutely.
That'd be kind of fun to watch.
I think it'd be hilarious. All right, well, get your ass out of here and go hang out with your friends.
All right.
And
thank you very much, everybody. Do go check out Cooking with Q. That'd be. I mean, I want to get him some more people.
Yeah, so here, let me put up his link.
And we got to get Gimpy G on here to talk to us at some point, because Gimpy G's Gimpy G's got some cool stories.
Well, I am totally cool with that. Here, let me put the link down.
So we should maybe when we get Aux back, we'll get Gimpy G in to fill out the quadrant.
Perfect. No, I'm all for it. Like I'll talk to Aux and we'll get him on here. All right, get out of here, you son bitch.
See ya. Have a good one. Thanks much.
See you, David.
I don't know how to hang up. I got the wrong mouse.
It's okay.
Find the right mouse.
You'll figure it out eventually. You're just getting old.
How do you turn this thing off?
You're just getting old there, old guy.
Did you do a screen grab?
Oh no, I didn't. Let's do the screen grab.
We should have got it with Barnacules.
Oh, we'll just do this. All right.
No, you're Barnacules, right?
It's okay. I know what you meant. Got it.
Done. Because nothing says intelligent chat like a thumbnail like that.
It's just visual clickbait, man. That's everything on the internet is visual clickbait.
You're there. All right, man. Talk soon.
Take it easy, bud.
See you next week. Cheers.
Peace. All right, let's see. Oh, he found the button. Look at that, man. He's not as old as I thought. All right, guys. Dish. How old is he? How old is he? Somebody go check his IMDb. We need to carbon date him now that he's gone and he can't rebuke it. Let's see. I want to go through some of the super chats here. You guys have been awesome. Daniel Hood, thank you for the $5. He said, I know this has been asked before, but would you recommend using NiceHash, or is there another program for crypto noobs? NiceHash is the easiest way to crypto mine, but they take 2 to 5%. But they do make it really easy. That's the trade-off, right? That's what you're paying for. But if you want to mine directly, there's lots of tutorials online that'll teach you to mine any number of currencies all by yourself so that you can keep all the spoils. But it is a little bit more work. So just figure out if it's worth it to you or not. Michael Hauser, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said there's actually a huge industry of scavenging pre-nuclear steel because the very minor background emissions can upset radiation analysis equipment. No, I saw that in the documentary that I was watching. Yeah, they said they actually specifically look for steel that's not contaminated because really sensitive instruments like MRIs and CAT scans and stuff like that, that just little tiny bit of radiation from the strontium-90 or whatever will fuck with the results. That's how sensitive that machinery is. And since they can't shield the machinery really from itself, they need all that to be like decontaminated. And it's very, very difficult to decontaminate a metal. He's 53. Oh man, he is an old sumbitch. I didn't know I was going to have my dad co-host in Tech Talk with me. Oh man. Well, I mean, let's be honest. He looks younger than I do for damn sure. Let's see, scrolling through here. Let's see, Jinzo Defiler. Thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, we got to watch where we drill in the Arctic because of methane too. The earth will let out a giant fart. Oh my God. I've seen videos of them striking oil lines and methane lines and like the amount of gas and pressure that comes out of the hole, even though it's like a pretty massive hole. It's wild. It's wild. I actually also saw that they need like a freaking, like no shit. There are oil wells that are still burning that we can't extinguish. Like literally in the Middle East, there's oil wells that have been ignited that we still can't figure out how to put out, because the only way to put them out is to basically bury like a nuclear level, like a small nuclear level explosion down next to the well and basically blow it up and seal it before it, like, it's really complicated. I always thought, oh man, you could just like set some TNT on it and blow it up or whatever and blow out the flame and then it would just be liquid oil again. But no. Apparently it is an insane, like it takes an insane amount of energy, like buried deep in the ground to be able to collapse one of these wells. It's crazy, man. Oh, Luke. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. We've got an underground coal fire in America. Actually, we got a couple of them, but there's one where they had to evacuate an entire town because the ground is literally like cracking open and there's heat radiating off the ground and the concrete because there's literally a coal fire that's going to be burning for like 1,000 years under the ground. And they can't extinguish it because it's like, how do you seal that off? You can't. I mean, it's like these mine shafts and everything, they're sucking. There's so many cracks and so many things that are broken that it's drawn in oxygen. There's no way that you could ever seal this damn thing off and get the fire burning under control. You're just not. It's just going to keep on burning and keep destroying everything and its path. What was the population of that town they had to evacuate? Like literally you can go there today. Like you can actually drive a car. Nobody's allowed to live there, but you can actually still drive into that town and like look around and feel how hot the ground is. Like you can feel the fire burning underneath. You just can't live there. Ed T said, I'm a coal miner in PA. Wow, dude. So where's that fire at? So EDT, I'm sure you know about it. They probably use it as like training material in your job. Oh, wow. They actually let some people live there? Like what's the requirement? Is it just you have to like sign a waiver saying that if your house gets swallowed into a giant fire cavern, you won't hold the state liable or something? Like Centrilla? So Centrilla, Pennsylvania? Or Centralia, Pennsylvania? I mean, yeah, it's literally hell, right? Like Christian said, it's literally hell. It is. You literally have a giant burning underground cavern that if you went in there, you'd die from noxious gases or catching on fire. That's crazy. Robert Taylor said, I am 53, almost 54. You old son of a bitch. Robert, you're so old, man. For your next birthday, I'm going to bring you some crutches and a walker, brother. Even though I'll probably have to deliver them to you in a hover around scooter with the way my back's going. Yeah, I'm going to be that guy. Hey, Danzig256, thank you for the $5 super chat. He said, I've had a few buddies that have served on subs for the U.S. Navy as submariners. They're a special kind of crazy. No, you'd have to be. I would go insane. Like, I don't have a huge fear of small places. Like I can handle, there is a point where it gets like scary. Like I don't like being in an MRI for like 45 minutes holding still with like a thing this close to my face. Like that freaks me out and it's really hard to get through it. I can do it for 45 minutes, but if I had to do it any longer than that, I'd go absolutely insane and start like kicking the shit out of the machine. But those submarines, even though they're fairly roomy, like if you've ever seen a submarine tour, it's like they've actually got a decent amount of room in some open spaces, but I couldn't imagine being like that for 6 months. Like, and the whole place has got to smell like a fucking gym sock. I'm sure you get used to it, just like the International Space Station, but there's like no way that smells good. Although they do pretty much have an unlimited supply of water. So I'm sure that, you can probably take a lot of showers and stuff like that during your downtime. Although there's probably like 2 showers on the thing. And I'm sure one of them is the captain's only shower. So I'm sure like the entire crew is having to rotate in and out of like 1 or 2 showers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they skip showers a lot of the time. Everybody just gets used to the thing smelling like a giant chode. Hey, Jornar. I think, is it Jornar? Because I think the B's silent when you got the slash through the O. I don't know. Jornar, thank you for the 50 knocks. We haven't gotten any knocks in a while, so thank you for the 50 knocks. He said, you guys are awesome. Watching you at 360p in the Norwegian forest. Oh, awesome, dude. Tell the Mycelium Network I said hi. He said, did you see the UFO news on Fox News? Any comment on that? Well, I usually don't comment on Fox News because they're not really news. It's more like Fox tabloid. Now, I mean, so I don't know. What are they saying, that there's like UFOs are real again? Well, I mean, UFOs are real in that they're unidentified, but they're not fucking aliens. Like, my gosh, the things they do for views. I mean, they got an audience though that eats that shit up. So you might as well. I mean, when you have somebody like Tucker Carlson on there, you might as well just say like insane shit for views because everybody's going to believe it. EDT said, then people living there, this is the town that's on fire underneath it. Were living there before the fire and did not take the buyout to move, but no one new can move in. And the fire releases a lot of toxic fumes. Okay, so that's the main reason. It's not the heating of the ground or like the ground opening up and eating shit. It's the toxic fumes that are coming off of the burning coal. It's just wild to think that, like, there is a fire underground burning that cannot be extinguished, that you just basically have to let it burn itself out. And I can't even imagine, like, what is the pollution like on that? Because think about it. It's like, yeah, the coal that came out of that mine would have eventually all been burned, so that gas would have been released in the atmosphere, but it would have been spread out. Like, how concentrated of a source of that is pollution that's just constant 24/7, like as much coal as you can possibly burn. I mean, the only thing throttling it is the air, right? So I'm sure that there's probably efforts to cut off as much air getting to the tunnels as humanly possible to slow the burn down, but they just can't get it down to zero where it's actually going to stop. Wait, what? EDT said there's hundreds of coal fires underground in the US? That scares me. I thought it was like a couple. I didn't know that they were like all over the place. That's pretty damn irresponsible. I mean, are they still doing research on how to shut them down? Because it seems like that would still be like a very equitable thing to do. Or are they just like out of sight, out of mind, fuck it, get people out of here, pay them a little bit of money, and then just forget it ever happened? Because it seems to me like if they really tried, you could come up with a solution for that. Like, yeah, sure, it's probably hundreds of miles of underground tunnels and shit like that, but there's probably some kind of compound. It'd be really expensive or something like that. Maybe like, I don't know, pump in like 1 million metric tons of argon or something like that to starve out the fire. Or like, install like, a massive pumping halon system that just, decreases the burn down to a level to where it just extinguishes itself. I don't know. I can't solve these damn problems. Kevlar Condom said, radon is a huge problem with coal fires. Oh, no shit. I didn't know burning coal created radon. There's like people that literally like burn coal to like heat their houses and shit. Does that mean that they have a higher than average background radiation in their house from burning coal? That's crazy. Cody Fernell said, Jerry, man, you're not looking healthy. It's because I'm not healthy, bro. I'm not healthy. My back is like all kinds of fucked up. Like I'm in pretty much unending pain 24/7, bro. So yeah. Thank you for noticing though. I do like it when people notice. It's helpful. Let's hear. Clayman said we've got a bunch in the UK that are on fire permanently. Well, it sounds like the ones here are on fire permanently too. So there's nothing you can do about it. Just like the oil wells that are just burning. It's like the amount of oil that's coming out of those things just burning into the atmosphere. Like how many cars would that power? How many generators would that power? Like how much energy is actually being expended and wasted like every second those uncapped wells are just blasting flames into the atmosphere. It's pretty damn astronomical. You'd think that they'd put a little bit more effort into trying to put them out. But I think it's cost prohibitive, so they don't do it. EDT said, but the fires can be self-sufficient as the ground has air and the coal burns slow underground. I guess that's true, right? I mean, air can permeate through the ground. It's not like it's a solid airtight thing. So as long as some air gets down there, the coal is going to burn, like smolder basically. So I'd imagine it's less like you go in there and it's giant burning fires. It's more like the coal is just hot. Like the coal is like at its like ignition point where it's, I don't view it as like, like the stereotypical view of hell in the burning brimstone fires. I think it's probably more along the lines of just like the coal is just slowly burning, right? And off gassing like crazy, like your barbecue grill. Let's see. Miss Liz here posted an article. Let me see this. Okay. Defense Department confirms leaked video of unidentified aerial phenomenon is real. Okay. Let's see what this shit's all about. Here, I'll watch this. Okay, let's see. Let me turn off the music here. Okay, I'm watching the video right now. Sorry, I can't put it on screen. I don't have a scene for that. But let's see here. It's okay, so the Pentagon confirmed the leak of the video that identified aerial phenomenon. The UAP was taken by Navy personnel. It looks like a Dorito flying through the sky. Pentagon said the statement, this video and other images are a part of its ongoing examinations of UAP. I mean, okay, and they're showing like old video footage of like old ones we already knew about that leaked like literally last year. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that's like unbelievable, right? I'm not seeing anything that's remarkable. To me, it just looks like these things could be explained by a lot of different things. It could be, an aerial craft being tested from another country. It could literally be, a bird or something flying with like a parallax effect or some kind of atmospheric effect. There's a lot of shit that like pretty much discredits it as being any kind of like an alien presence. So let's see here. Are you still doing the spinal injection stuff on your back? I sure am. I think I'm probably going to stop though, because we're starting to get some side effects from it that are pretty unsavory. So we might go a different direction with like some nerve blockers and stuff like that. Also, mods, you are on fire today. I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the trash out. I really appreciate it. Honestly, if you're going to come into the stream and you're just going to sit here and fat shame me, you will just be banned. Just to let you know. I mean, you can do everything once, but you will be banned, and there are no unbans on this channel. So just savor that moment, because that's all you're going to get. Mark Shaw said, kind of off topic, but what do you think of the buy Bitcoin here electronic kiosks that you can find in some states? Are they a legit or a scam? No, they're legit. They're legit. They're called Bitcoin ATMs, and they are legit. They're not allowed to install these things in locations without the proper licensing and everything like that. And they usually are backed by some kind of a financial institution. So I mean, yeah, you can literally use it on site to exchange Bitcoin. I think their fees are pretty high though. And plus Bitcoin network transaction fees are like prohibitively high. So I don't really know what the value of using them would be. Like unless you like, buying Bitcoin is more of a transaction that you do digitally over the internet or transfer from your phone, like an NFC. I don't really see the benefit of going to a kiosk to try to exchange cash into Bitcoin or vice versa. Like, it just seems to me like you'd just do that online. You would just have your bank account fund an exchange and you'd have Bitcoin, right? You click a couple buttons, you got Bitcoin. It's like, I don't really understand what the kiosk would be useful for. And you know, they're charging a fee on top of the network transaction fee because obviously they got to pay for it. Yeah, MD Hofstede, no. Let's see here. Ed T said, wait, think like a charcoal in your grill when it ashes up the same thing. Okay, so not like visual fire underground. It's just like literally just smoldering and creating heat. Like just like your barbecue grill. That's still wild, man. That's still wild. I think crypto ATMs avoid tax tracing, right? Well, yeah, I mean, you can avoid taxes with Bitcoin. I mean, as long as you manage your own wallet and the wallet doesn't have a physical link to you in any way, shape, or form, there's no way for the IRS to audit it. Me personally, though, I like to go through like a financial institution like Coinbase or something like that that's actually like based in the country of origin, follows their laws, filled out the proper paperwork, actually pays their taxes. I prefer to use an institution like that because then all my cryptocurrency transactions, everything are like a bank account and I actually pay my taxes on it. And that way you don't have a problem with an audit. If you have a private Bitcoin wallet and you're buying a bunch of shit out of it, and then you have a revenue stream coming into your account because you're selling cryptocurrency and money's just showing up into your bank, that's going to raise a red flag with the IRS and they're going to audit your ass. So just beware. You might think you're really clever when you're doing it, but you don't want to go through an audit. I've been through 4 of them. They suck. They're really, really annoying. Nick said, have you ever used a hardware wallet like Trezor? Trezor? No, I haven't actually. I mean, I have had local wallets where I store a portion of the blockchain locally on my computer and keep the private key. I don't do that anymore though, because I've literally lost wallets to hard drive failures that would have, they would have been millions of dollars today if I didn't lose them to a hard drive failure. And that's unfortunately like a common story that you have of people because you're storing your Bitcoin for like, 8 or 10 years and hard drives usually don't last that long. And you don't back it up for whatever reason because of its size and you lose it. So I prefer storing my wallet somewhere where I can actually put it on ice if I need to and keep the private key so I can access it anytime I need it without having to store a bunch of data locally. Like using something like Coinbase, you can actually archive it, or they call it like deep freeze or something like that. And then you can hold the private key for it. So even if Coinbase goes away, you still have access to your crypto wallet. But the problem is you can't actively exchange currencies in and out of the network and buy and sell them without your money actually being out of that cold storage and into primary storage, which is then they're storing the wallet. And then you have a little bit more chance for shit to go wrong. Ed T said, the area where I live in Southwest PA, our coal seam, the Pittsburgh seam, anywhere from 3 foot tall to 15 foot tall. Like, what does that mean? Like the run of coal is that low in the ground? Like literally the coal that's burning is only like 3 feet underground. That's pretty wild. I would have thought it would have been hundreds of feet underground. That's pretty wild. Let's see here. I'm going to come over here. Oh, sorry. I think I got all the super chats. I don't think I missed any of them. Did I? I hope I didn't miss any of them. I hate it when I miss stuff when you guys are being like supportive. We really appreciate it. Yeah, Coinbase has vaults, takes 48 hours to withdraw from the vault. Yeah, so the vault is only where you want to hold stuff long term. So the vault is more secure, obviously, but that's long term storage. If you want to be actively trading the cryptocurrency, you want it in a primary wallet online. There are ways to trade crypto kind of offline, but it's a lot harder to do, and there's a lot more downtime between the transactions. And if you're like day trading a currency, it's really, really hard to do that otherwise. It's just better just to pay the damn IRS their fee. The problem is the government's becoming really wise to cryptocurrency now, and especially primary cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're very much mainstream now here in the United States. So the IRS is very aware of these accounts. So if they see that you're reporting, that you don't have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of revenue coming in or a lot of income coming in, yet your account has a huge amount of funding coming in and out of it, it will raise red flags and they will audit you. And part of that audit will be to see if you have any cryptocurrency holdings. They also do the same thing for stocks too. Like if you hold stock and you don't report every year the stock, like regardless of whether you sell or buy or anything, if you don't report the form, what is it, the 1099 div or whatever, your dividends, if you don't report that to the IRS, it immediately raises a red flag because all those financial institutions tell the IRS your dealings. So if you don't, basically the IRS is just comparing your recollection with the information they already have. Technically, the IRS has everything they need to do your taxes. Like you shouldn't have to do anything. They know where all your money came from, where it's going, what businesses paid you. But what they want to do is they want to see if you tell the truth, because those businesses might not be reporting stuff and you may not be reporting stuff. And that's going to show up as discrepancies over time. So literally the reason you're doing your taxes is basically just to see who's lying. Is it you or is it one of the businesses that you're dealing with? It's really stupid. Our tax system is so horribly broken. JS Now, thank you for the $5. He said, what is the best way to invest in cryptocurrency? Is Coinbase the best? Coinbase is great if you want to store stuff for long periods of time. Coinbase Pro lets you trade pretty equitably. I use Bittrex because unfortunately my options are pretty limited here in Washington state. Bittrex actually filled out the state level paperwork so that they're both federal and state compliant with crypto traders. But Binance is one that a lot of people use. It seems like that's the one that comes up the most as far as like the best tools for trading and the most options and everything like that. It seems like Binance is the one everybody uses, and I do have a Binance account, except for I'm still not sure what's going on because it won't let me put in the information that I'm in Washington state because they like claimed it wasn't supported, but then I was able to log into my account after it said I couldn't create it. And it says I'm in Washington. So I don't know if there was just a bug there when I created my account a long time ago, but it is technically working now. So I can use Binance. Good job, Miss Liz. You're killing it today. You're absolutely killing it. Johnny Winter, thank you for the 20 Danish kroners. Said, gotta go. Talk to you later, B. Hey, get out of here, man. Have yourself a wonderful day. The security sucks. Crypto is cash, not a stock. Not really. Not really. Crypto technically is like a cash, but it's traded like a stock. Like most people don't just invest in the US dollar. You can though. You absolutely can. You can buy gold and silver and stuff like that if you want to hedge it, even though we don't have a gold standard anymore. But it can be traded like a stock, like literally day trade. It's identical. As a matter of fact, the interface is identical. Like you literally are buying like a share of stock if you want to look at it that way. And you're either selling it for higher or you're selling it for less or more than you paid for it at any given point in time. And then you're funded that difference. So it is very similar. But it's definitely, stocks aren't used as cash. Cryptocurrency is used as cash. I can literally use it just to pay you something. I can't just go grab a stock and give it to you. There's no convenient way to do that. Like I could sell a stock and give you the money and you could go buy that stock, but there's really no great mechanism for me to take my digital stock that I bought from like TD Ameritrade and just gift it to you. Now, there are ways to do it, but they're not convenient. Like for instance, if I died, I could gift my stock to somebody else and leave it to them in the will, and they would basically just take control of my account, or the institution would take all my stock holdings and transfer them to another account that I name as the beneficiary. But as far as I know, there's no real way to just say, oh, go buy 100 shares of Microsoft and I want to give 5 shares of Microsoft to my friend. I just want to gift it to them or give it to them in exchange for some physical good or service. I'm actually kind of surprised that doesn't exist though, because you'd think some company would just put up the capital to do something like that. Like outside of the stock market, like they have a separate entity where they're basically allowing you to just gift and move stocks around for a nominal fee between people, not between companies. You can do it with a transfer agent. Okay, so there are people that do that. Like there is somebody that I can get that will actually transfer stocks between people at my request. I wonder what the overhead is on that as far as cost, because obviously they need to make a living. Automator said, I use Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. I had trouble with the photo ID on Bittrex. You're not the first. A couple of people have reported that Bittrex wouldn't allow them to identify their account with their ID and taking the photo. And I don't know if it's because like their digital system doesn't work with some camera types or something like that. But yeah, you're not the first person to report that problem. This listed elbow bump. What the fuck, lol? Oh, what did Devin say? Mirror Protocol. Mirror Protocol barn can send you synth stock all day. Mirror Protocol. Let's go check this out and see if I can get a virus. Mirror.finance. I don't recommend going to that site until I look at more. All right, so Mirror. Oh, assets reflected on the blockchain. Okay, so this is just a tokenized network that's basically referencing stocks. So, I mean, kind of what I was talking about, but again, this adds another level of complexity. You're not really trading the stocks. You're trading the token attached to the stocks is what it looks like first glance. Mirror Protocol allows the creation of fungible assets, synthetics that track the price of real world assets. Yeah, so, okay, it's an NFT token, right, for a stock. Mirror synthetics are intended to be used as a key building block in smart contracts or to use the world's assets in the blockchain. I mean, I'll check it out. I'll look at it. I am interested in NFT. Like the only reason I haven't created any NFTs yet is because everything that I found to create an NFT has been on like the Ethereum blockchain and shit, and it's super expensive. Like as soon as I can find a site that will allow me to create an NFT for a very small fee on like Raven coin or something like that, or at least a coin that's available on the majority of the exchanges. I don't want to use some weird exotic coin that's listed on like one exchange or no exchanges. Then I'll start creating some NFTs around things just to kind of play around with it, and that way I can, you know, maybe make a video about it. But I want to experience it first. Obviously, I don't make a video unless I experience something first. Missless, as somebody said, in the world of emojis, that is two bums farting together. Well, I'd like to think of it like that. Han said, how much is it? Oh, I think to publish NFT on the Ethereum blockchain is like $50. It's like $50 to $100. It's like I don't know why it's so damn expensive, because the NFT itself is like the blockchain entry is small. The NFT, which is the image or associated data, is stored somewhere else. Like, so I don't get why it's so expensive. I'm curious. You're watching it right now, Terabyte Killer. Scarface said, how's it going, Barnacules? You know, I'm surviving, man. I'm surviving. Can't complain too much. Just doing my thing. Navigating the world of shitty people to find the good ones. I got some great mods that make it happen too. Karina Freeman, thank you for the $5 super chat. I appreciate it. So happy to catch you on the stream. Well, I'm so happy to have you, Karina. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much. We still got, wow, we got 476 people still chilling today. So my co-host had to leave me. He had some stuff to go do, and my other co-host, AuxxZillary, he's in Mexico right now. He joined us at the beginning of the stream for a little while, but I'm just soloing it for the last little leg of the stream here so that I can give you guys your full 3 hours worth. Plus, I'm quite enjoying the topics. Tater Tot said, can't unsee the bums. To me, it does look like an elbow bump, but now that you guys said bums, it looks like two people like bending over and touching their bums together with gas blowing out the bottom. So now that you guys put that in my head, I no longer see the elbows. Damn it. This is like one of those weird mind tricks that you see all the time. One of those weird mind tricks where you look at something and then somebody says like a word and it changes your perception of it. It's very bizarre. Hey, Adam, thank you so much for the check dollar. I think it was a check dollars, check crowns or something. Thank you for the 50 whatevers those are. He said it's gas money. You pay your miners to encrypt your token to the chain. Oh, no, I understand that. I understand the concept of the Ethereum publishing costing gas to publish it. I totally get that, but the $50 is too much on the Ethereum blockchain. I want to find a cheap blockchain. I want to find a cheap coin where the gas fee is much lower. So, because now, again, obviously the reason the gas fee is so high on Ethereum is because it's so heavily valued, and it's so heavily valued because so many people use it. So having an NFT in the Ethereum blockchain is going to be much more long-term viable than creating an NFT in a currency that's not nearly as well established and has lower value. But I still would be willing to take that risk. Hey, what's up, Neil? Thank you for the 10 pounds. He said, not much, but all the best. Jerry, what are you talking about, man? That is huge. 10 pounds is huge, man, compared to the average. I thank you for that very, very much. Don't belittle it and say it's not much. That's quite a bit, sir. That is quite a bit. It all adds up, man. It all ends up paying the bills so I can keep doing this. So I appreciate it. Adam said, yeah, still getting twice as much or more from it. Maybe worth it. Well, the thing is so with NFT, as I understand it, publishing on the Ethereum blockchain, because it costs you like $50 to publish, it makes your works more desirable. And they usually sell for more because you're not just going to post like dick drawings as NFTs on the Ethereum chain when you have to put $50 into it, hoping somebody else will pay you more than $50 to get it. And then you have to pay the network transaction fee to transfer ownership to them, which makes it even more expensive. So the profit margin is very thin unless you have a lot of confidence in your work. Therefore, you don't get a lot of garbage in the blockchain. Unfortunately, that's the downside to a cheaper network where you can publish NFTs. Because if you can publish an NFT for like 3 cents, then obviously everybody's going to be posting dick pics, like 5,000 dick pics a day to it, hoping that they can sell one to somebody, and they only have to get $1 for it to be profitable. So you end up with more garbage, actually. Wait, is Miss B in here? She said, I saw birds kissing. I was going to have words. Lol. Oh, on the image, she saw birds kissing. But now do you see it? It looks like 2 people are bending over, touching their butts together, and their arms are like down towards the floor. Like, I totally see it now. Now that it's called out, like, I can't unsee it. It looks like butts touching. I cannot unsee it now. Hey, Emil Emmett, thank you for the 100 sexes. He said, let's see here. Yog Barjad crypto mining tac vera dig. Okay, I butchered that. Whatever. Emil, what did I just say? Did I just say your mother wears army boots or something? Like, what did I say there? I mean, I'm pretty sure I didn't say it at all because I mispronounced everything, but like, what did I say? Terabyte Killer said, now it's in your brain like Hulk in a hot tub. Lol. I know, I'll never unsee that now. Forever, that will be 2 butts farting together. Do I still mine Bitcoin? No, I have not mined Bitcoin in years because it's not profitable. Instead, I mine the shit coins through NiceHash and convert them into Bitcoin because that's the most profitable venture. Because going that route, you can make like a single 3080 can make, I think, like $11 a day or something like that, $9 to $11 a day from like the one GPU. The 1060 old cards that I have in the server can mine all together, like all 8 of them together. I think mine about $27 or something a day. It's pretty profitable. It's like mining is profitable again. That's why so many people are getting back into it, is because one, it's easier with things like NiceHash and stuff like that for you to actually mine. And you can control it all through your phone, bringing your machines online and offline and everything. It just makes it really easy. So a lot more people are mining now because, you know, you can have a more expensive power and still be profitable. Whereas, you know, just a year ago, mining wasn't very profitable. But it adds up. A lot of people are like, why would you want to mine if you only make $5 a day? It's like, yeah, multiply that by 30. Okay, now multiply that by 12. I mean, you literally get like a free GPU every year from mining during your off time. That's why people do it. It's like, it doesn't have to be hugely profitable. It can literally just get you a free GPU by just like letting it mine during your downtime. That's not always the case, though. It depends on your profitability based on what hardware you have, what your power costs, your heating and cooling bill, your cooling bill, like HVAC. That all factors into it. But if you live in a place that's a relatively cool climate and electricity is cheap because it's hydroelectric, like it is here in Washington where I live, 11 cents a kilowatt, right? So, you know, it's hugely profitable here. And there's some places, I mean, that are way cheaper than even that. Like, I know somebody pays 3 cents a kilowatt. Like, when you're paying 3 cents a kilowatt, then it becomes a profitable venture to run just about anything. Even like old, like, you know, if you just have a bunch of old graphics cards laying around and you slam in a slot, they are going to make something. Wait, Emmett said, I carried crypto mining thanks to you. Wait, I carried. He started crypto mining thanks to me. Oh, well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. I actually know quite a few people that actually got into crypto mining and made like a nice, tidy little sum. So, because a lot of people don't know about it, right? It's like, it becomes more popular every day, but still a lot of people don't really understand how it works. Everybody's like, oh, okay, this has got to be a scam, right? Because you're basically just creating something from nothing. But what they don't realize is it's actually just the digital equivalent of mining a finite resource. It's like everybody is in the mine cracking away trying to find that little diamond in the wall, but there's only so many diamonds. And that's what literally gives them their value, is their scarcity and how much resources you have to burn to get it, literally. It's just, instead of pulling something physically out of the ground, you're pulling a digital asset out of the ether that can't be replicated. Emil Emmett, thank you for the 50 sexes. Said I started crypto mining thanks to you. You are very welcome, sir. You're very welcome. Now, there's a lot of people that don't like crypto mining, and I understand their points of view. Like, I can actually play devil's advocate to it. Like, mining Bitcoin is not an efficient use of power, and it does create a huge excess draw on the power grid to mine something like Bitcoin, because you're not getting any value. However, mining something like Ethereum uses smart contracts and verification, so I would argue that it's more efficient than a bank. So, and you're actually getting real work done. People are paying you to get real work done, and that real work is what is funding the network and creating the value in the coins. And so a lot of cryptocurrencies follow that model of smart contracts, and those are actually quite useful and quite efficient, relatively speaking. Bitcoin, on the other hand, I totally agree. Like Bitcoin, it exists because of its scarcity, but the way that it's mined is still horribly inefficient and terrible. But you got to remember, that's one of the reasons why it is so valuable today, is because of the resources that go into mining Bitcoin. Like it's become infinitely complex to mine Bitcoin, and there's fewer and fewer of them being given out. So that's why its value is so ridiculously high. You're probably not going to see another coin anywhere near Bitcoin. Miss Liz said, I've been mining and bought some crypto. We made about $700 in 2 months. That's awesome. Like I average about, like, I don't sell any of my crypto. I hold it, but just from mining, I think I average about $145 a week. Just in Bitcoin that's transferred to my account from mining on NiceHash with 2 of my computers when I'm not using them. And so that adds up over time. I mean, that's a couple brand new GPUs every year if I want them, right? Like even at the inflated costs. So that's why crypto miners pay so much more for GPUs. People are like, why are these fuckers paying like $25 for $2,500 for like $1,000 GPU or $800 GPU? It's because if you look at their profitability running that card and crypto mining on it, they can make back the full value of that card within 6 months to a year, which means after that 6 months or a year, it's just a free graphics card and everything it mines is profit. And then when they sell the card, that's also profit. So that's why that's what's dictating the cost. The miners aren't going to pay anything more than what they can profit from. But the problem is their profitability is way higher than what a gamer would be willing to pay for the same card. And that's what puts you in that predicament. And I think it sucks. I genuinely, if there was a way that they could legitimately create a graphics card that was absolutely unappealing and could not profit at the price point that they were giving it to gamers in crypto mining, that card would not be bought by crypto miners. They would have no reason to buy it. It would be completely unimpressive. Unfortunately, crypto mining is based on a lot of the fractional math that these cards are very, very good at. They translate to them doing pixel shaders and rendering 3D models and stuff like that. So it's really hard to create a graphics card that's really good at this math. That's also the same exact math that's used to mine the cryptocurrency. So when you get into that predicament, it's very, very difficult to create a graphics card that isn't going to be profitable, but still be massively fast playing games unless you artificially limit, which Nvidia tried to do with the 1660 or whatever, but that failed. Like literally like within a week of release, it was already hacked. I mean, they hacked it themselves. They released a firmware that unlocked it accidentally. It was totally on purpose. And people were already working around it anyways, because all it did was block Ethereum mining. You could still run NiceHash and mine all the shit coins and convert them into Bitcoin. And it was every bit as efficient as it was before the block. So it was a real failed effort. And it showed you that all it was a marketing ploy, right? It didn't change anything. The crypto miners still got all those cards. What do I think of the Nvidia trying to make the 3060 non-mineable? I mean, it was a marketing exercise. Like it was never intended to work. It was doomed from the start. Krillin 64, and the problem is all they could do was half the performance, like artificially in the firmware, half the performance of Ethereum, of mining the Ethereum. And then they tried to add something to it where you had to have a monitor physically connected to it. Well, somebody created a dongle for $5 you plug in. This simulates a monitor connection in a sync. So that defeated that. And then the other mechanism was defeated just by mining other cryptocurrencies, because Ethereum was the only one they blocked. And it turned out Ethereum wasn't even the most profitable thing to mine by a long shot. And then the problem is they create, the other problem that they create too is they created a crypto mining card, but they're charging like $2,500 for it. So now all Nvidia is doing is they're taking the header off a graphics card and selling it for what the crypto miners would have paid for it scalped on the market. And now Nvidia is just becoming the scammer themselves, because they're still taking away from the graphics cards. They're creating this other card that they're selling specifically and cutting out the middleman. Now credit to them. They're screwing over the scammers, because the scammers can't resell the card at a profit because it starts at such a high price in the beginning. And the crypto miners will be willing to pay that price if that's the only card that they can get a hold of. And it's still profitable within 6 months to a year, which it is at that price. So it's just Nvidia basically stepping in and saying, okay, we don't want these scalpers getting the money. We want to get the money, instead of actually trying to find a solution to make sure that gamers can actually get cards. Because it had no effect. It had absolutely no effect. There's not a crypto miner in the world who was like, oh, I'm not going to go buy some 1660s or 3060s. I'm not going to go buy some 37s or 3080s if they're available. Instead, I'm going to spend $2,500 on this graphics card that's slightly better at crypto mining, but not by much. Like, why would they do that? The only reason they're doing it is because that's the only thing available at that point. Ed T said they'll bring out something new that block it. They won't. They won't. Nvidia will claim that they're going to come out with a million things to stop crypto, and it's not going to work. Nvidia apparently releasing an anti-crypto version of the 3060. They already did. It failed. What are they going to do? Go and reflash the firmwares on all the cards and like re-release them, and they're just going to get hacked again? All they're going to do is block Ethereum. There's a million other cryptocurrencies you can mine and convert to Ethereum or Bitcoin. So are they going to block them all? And how are they going to block them all when the hashing algorithms in some cases are not even like, you can't even identify them. Like they don't even leave that good of a thumbprint. I personally think that it's a fool's errand. I think it's just Nvidia trying to calm down all the people that can't get a GPU and make it feel like Nvidia is doing their best. But Nvidia like really has no vested interest in creating a card that sells for 1/4 what people are willing to pay for it to crypto mine. So Nvidia, it's all marketing. It's 100% marketing. Ed T said, I think it's a new die they're going to bring out. No, I don't think so. Because when they released the 3060, they already said that there was like, there was actually like architecture on the card that prevented it from mining Ethereum. And they also said that it had some kind of BIOS like handshake where if it was modified, it wouldn't work anymore. And then they proved that that was all wrong because all it took was a firmware mod, which is something that a lot of people do. People that overclock graphics cards do firmware mods all the time. It was just a firmware mod. So it turns out all that bullshit about them saying it's an engineered card from the ground up, that was completely invalidated with that leak of that firmware. Because if it was only, if it was what they said it was, a firmware update should never have been able to enable that card to mine Ethereum at full speed. And it clearly did with a tiny firmware change. I mean, that tells you right there that everything they said was bullshit. So why would you believe them if they're like, oh, this time we're going to say exactly what we said last time when we lied to you. We're going to do that again. There's no reason for them to do it. And what are they going to do on the die? Like the only thing they can do to stop the mining of Ethereum is to specifically scan for Ethereum mining. And when they see that hash they see that computation happening, they see that set of instructions running through the CPU cores, then they cut them down. They artificially slow them down. And if you do that at the die level, there's still going to be a firmware that's governing that. It's not going to be like a hardware ASIC circuit that's like slowing down this one operation, because that would slow down the entire graphics card to have to add that check for every single operation. So it just doesn't make sense. It's just going to be another shitty firmware hack, and this time they're going to try not to leak it. But somebody will figure it out and work around it. 100%. Miss List said, I'm looking at Hello Kitty Animal Crossing cards. They are $7 Canadian, but scalpers have bought them all. The cheapest set I can find now is $57 to $50. Yeah, scalping has become a big business now. The internet has definitely created like this huge market for scalpers. And honestly, COVID did too, because COVID basically led people to like hoarding stuff like hand sanitizer and toilet paper and realizing how much of a overhead they can charge on a market that they corner and control that wasn't expected to be cornered and controlled. And so you're seeing this same behavior repeat out, every generation. Somebody that didn't get in on the first one wants to get in on the second one. And the other thing too, is you have a lot of people that are publicly like, oh, I'm totally ENC scammer, screw them. And they're all like on the back end scamming like crazy, because they're all trying to like act like they're not doing it and they're against it, to like deter other people from doing it, but they themselves are doing it. Like I'm not going to name anybody, but I know somebody who is very publicly like, oh man, fucking scalpers, blah, blah, blah. But I know for a fact they've scalped graphics cards. So let's be honest here. Don't believe like when people say shit publicly like that. It's like, don't put a lot of effort. It's like people that come forward and go, oh my gosh, I'd never buy that cryptocurrency. That's dumb. Like, don't even do that or whatever. And it's like, you find out that they have like 10,000 of the coin or something like that. And they're just trying to prevent like a massive buyout causing a whale to sell and dip it. Like just realize everybody's out for themselves. So just keep that in mind when you're like, take everything with a grain of salt, even what I say, like go research it yourself. Kali Commander said they're re-releasing the 3060 with an updated chip with a new PCI device ID to render all older drivers incompatible. That will do jack shit. They will defeat that so fast that it'll make your head spin. Because now all you have to do is go change the older driver, go modify the older driver to report as a newer driver. And when they do the version check, as long as your head's above the water of whatever version they're saying, you just create a modified driver and you defeat it. Not hard to do. The driver doesn't even have to be signed. I mean, you could still sign it, but the driver doesn't even necessarily have to be signed. You can just boot the computer in dev mode and build your own driver in Visual Studio and just rev the version number. What's the minimum graphics card you'd mine on? Probably like a 1060. A 1060 is probably the lowest that I'd go. I mean, technically you can be, if your power is cheap enough, you can be profitable with a 9 series card, but 10 series is probably the lowest that I'd go as like, yeah, 1066 gig is probably the lowest that I'd consider like a good profitable card that I'd run every day. Plus they're efficient too. That's the other thing you have to figure is, yeah, you can buy, you can crypto mine on like a 3090, but it's going to guzzle power. Its power efficiency isn't going to be great. So you have to factor that into the profitability. Sure, it might make like twice as much as another card, but does that other card make half as much with a quarter of the power? So you need to factor that in. So a lot of people will mine and they don't factor in, like they'll overclock the shit out of their card and then mine on it, which is beating the shit out of their GPU. But now their card is pulling another 25% power to produce a 5% gain in mining performance. And that's not profitable at all. Like at that point, you start diminishing returns and you kill your hardware. So what you really want to do in crypto mining is find that sweet spot where your card is absolutely at its peak efficiency. The memory is fast. The cores are slow. The card is optimized specifically for mining and you're putting out a very minimal amount of heat because then you don't have to control that heat. And you get efficiency. You might not make as much per day. Like it might say that you're making, 20% less per day mining, but when you factor in the half the power, you usually end up coming out on top or pretty close to it while saving your equipment. So, wait, Bulldog fan said, I'm 51 today for my birthday. Barnacules, tell me if I have to start a coin holder, then I just start NiceHash. Tell me how to start NiceHash for my birthday. Dude, you just go to NiceHash, you sign up, and they'll store the coins for you, or you transfer them to a crypto wallet whenever they reach the threshold. And you can create a crypto wallet like literally anywhere. You can even have a local crypto wallet if you want. There's lots of tutorials on YouTube on how to do it. Crypto mining for me is actually like a really fun thing. It's a very nerdy thing to do. Bite Me said, good thing all the mining cards will help the e-waste problem. I can sense your sarcasm, Bite Me. And I agree with it. I agree with it. Making a mining only card negates any other use for that card beyond its mining life. And that sucks. That means that, and that's exactly what Nvidia wants. That's what AMD wants, because they don't want you to sell a card on the secondhand market and have it more life. They want everybody to go and buy a new card. They want the miners to buy the new card. They want people using a graphics card to buy a new card. It's like every time you buy a new card, that helps their business and makes it more profitable and allows them to move more volume. Not to say they're having a problem with volume right now. Actually, they can't create the shit as fast as it's selling. And unfortunately, that's a problem that's not going to be solved for a while with the global chip shortage combined with the profitability of many cryptocurrencies right now. So this is a weird predicament that we're in. I don't think anybody ever expected GPUs to be directly tied to world finances. And we've now hit that point. Cryptocurrency is no longer just a hobby. It's actually a daily traded commodity among, tens of millions of people. And so now it's very much a part of the global economy. And a lot of people make their living now on cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, I have 3 friends that all make their living full-time cryptocurrency traders. So it's a very big deal. But the problem is it's like resting on the back of GPUs and nobody saw that coming, so nobody could adjust for it. It's like, I can't think of any other business in the world. I mean, maybe like Pixar, if you're like a movie studio and you need 5 million GPUs to render your movie in time, and you literally buy every GPU off the market, which by the way, has happened before. Actually, movie studios have completely bought out graphics cards to extinction before to run render farms to hit goals for investors. But it's like a thing that just happens like every once in a while. This is a continuous thing. As long as cryptocurrency is profitable and every graphics card that you buy over the cost of retail will return you more money than the card itself costs, you're going to have people willing to pay more for that card to use it for mining rather than gaming. And then you basically have the entire economy propped up on the entire economy is propped up based on cryptocurrency. So now it's propped up by proxy to the GPU. And that sucks. That I agree with you. That completely sucks. Roger R, thank you for the $10.99 of euros. He said, finally get to see you live. Just wanted to thank you for the hours of entertainment. You are very welcome, Roger. Stan the man, thank you for the $10 tip. He said, hey, Barnacules, one of your Twitch streams, you talked about a program or such that makes hard drives make noise or such so you know which one it is in the system. What is the name of that program? Oh, it actually wasn't a program. It was an operating system. It's called FreeNAS. So FreeNAS has a feature inside of it. I think it's FreeNAS. It's basically like basically what you do is you have it go into a mode where it basically just repeatedly parks the head in the drive. So it just goes tink, 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 and blinks the hard drive LED. So you can like feel around in the case and figure out which hard drive it is. If you don't have them all numbered and inserted in a certain order, which is kind of hard to do with some systems that aren't designed for it when you build them from scratch. So it just gives you a way to locate the hard drive. And I don't believe it damages the hard drive at all. I think it just basically makes the hard drive And I think it can also do like it spins it up and slows it down. So it's like, whoa, whoa. It does something where you can basically identify where the drive is inside of the system. I haven't used it in probably 6 or 7 years, but they may have even evolved the feature, but that's how I was able to find the drives in it when it died. Cause like, Western Digital green drives, those things were like getting unstable and developing bad sectors all the time because they were never designed to be used in a NAS situation. As a matter of fact, they don't even make them anymore because they're such a shitty drive. But that's how I'd locate them when they failed in the chassis. It would say which drive failed, but unfortunately the drive would still be working. It was just reporting higher smart failure rate. So to find the drive, I would use the feature where it basically just like, just do the read and writes to that drive to make it make noise and to differentiate it from all the other drives in the chassis. Maybe somebody here knows of a program that can do it outside of FreeNAS. It also works for SSDs, but you need a drive tray with an LED. Okay, yeah, Christian, yeah, because the SSDs obviously aren't going to make an audible noise, so you basically need it to stop all the I/O on the other disks and then just do like a random read write to the drive to cause the LED to blink so that you can locate it. I mean, it's a cool feature if you think about it. Let's see what else we got going on here. Green had problems with the IntelliPower and they would crash the head. Such a trash drives. Yeah, I've killed more Western Digital green drives than any other drive I've ever owned, including the Quantum Fireball, which was like the worst drive ever made before the Western Digital green. I have never had a Western Digital green last more than a year. Never. And most of my Western Digital greens in a NAS situation would last 3 to 6 months before they die. Now, to Western Digital's credit, they never questioned an RMA. I RMA'd the same drive like 6 or 8 times over the course of 5 years. And they never once like raised a red flag or wouldn't drop ship me a drive to replace it. So Western Digital is really, really good with the warranty stuff. So I give them huge kudos for that. But if you want a drive that's like really solid, like spinning disk, get a WD Black. They're stupid expensive and they weigh like twice as much as a regular drive. So if you fill your chassis with them, it's going to weigh a billion pounds. But Western Digital Black drives, they're tanks. I have a Western Digital Black drive that ran for like 10 years and still works just fine. And that's pretty weird for a spinning disk. Usually they start shit in the bed after about 5 years if you're lucky. 4 to 5 years. I mean, in an environment where they're regularly used. Is software RAID 5 on Windows Server 2019 any good? No, software RAIDs usually aren't that good because software RAIDs have huge overhead on the CPU and the memory. So you're not going to see giant performance gains, and you're also going to see like a huge hit on your processor. But I mean, they're still, if you're just doing a NAS, they're great. Like for NAS, virtual RAID is perfectly fine and acceptable. But if you're actually using the system as a workstation, I would avoid software level RAID at all costs. Just too slow. Hey, Namboozle, thank you for the 10 pounds. He said, thank you for your videos that got me through some real rough and depressing times back in 2014, a long time ago. But thank you for making those dark days bearable. You're very welcome. And I'm glad that you got to see, you know, that I'm just like a normal dude that struggles with the same shit everybody else does. You know, I put on my pants the same way. I fart just like you guys. See? You probably could hear that. It's a good microphone. MD Hosty said my 3 terabyte green drive is around 8 years old. Only one format so far. Dude, that shocks. That is completely shocking to me. I cannot believe that even on life support in a perfect atmosphere, you could keep that drive alive that long. Ed T said I still have a Quantum 4.3 gigabyte drive sitting in my desk or sitting on my desk. Dude, they're garbage. They're out. Oh my God. The Quantum, actually, no, I take that back. The Fireball wasn't the worst drive ever. The Quantum Fireball was shit, but it wasn't that shit. The most shit drive ever, including worse than the WD Green. I know this because this was the most returned hard drive that we had when I worked at this computer store called Mothersboard Computers back in 2000. Or sorry, it would have been 2016 to 2019. When I worked at the store, the highest return rate we ever had of a drive and the most customers bringing it in with a crashed drive was the Quantum Bigfoot. Who here remembers the Bigfoot? If you have a functioning Quantum Bigfoot drive, you might as well just donate that thing to the Smithsonian. That is the shittiest drive that's ever been made in the history of all hard drives. They're super garbage. So if you guys don't know the Quantum Bigfoot, it's literally like a half height drive that's the size of like a 5 1/4 bay. Like it's really, really big footprint, but short, really slim. Because I think it only has 2 platters in it instead of 4, but they're much larger. So basically what you did is you got more storage cheaper because it was a very simplified drive. But because they were so heavy, the discs were so heavy and spun up so slow and put so much stress on the bearing and the motor, the bearings in them just died. Like after just regular use for like a year, the bearings were just shot and the drive would just crash, like completely crash. Like you're not getting any of your data back. And man, did we have a shitload of those returned. Like, because we sold them for a while at Mother's Board Computers, and I swear every computer that we put one of those into for like an entire year came back and got replaced with a different drive. They were absolutely fucking garbage. So it wasn't like just one bad batch, because remember, this is over the course of a year. So this is many different batches of drives. We're probably building and selling somewhere on the order of 3 to 5 computers a day. And this was the drive of choice that was going into most of the consumer grade computers that we were building. And my God, did they all just come back? Every single one of them. Like, I mean, it literally was like a 6-month period where we were just every day you'd get one in. You just wonder when. Like, oh, there's a customer bringing it. Oh, I bet you it's the hard drive crashed. It always was. That Quantum Bigfoot was garbage. And the other thing too is it had 0 crash resistance. Like most drives, because you have like 4 platters. In a conventional drive, now they're up to like 8 platters, but in an old drive like a WD Green or something, you'd have like 4 platters, and they're small and they're close to the center of gravity. So if you bump the computer or something like that, it's not that big of a deal. It can literally park the head before the drive impacts, right? If you hit it or bang it or detects any G load, it parks the head and you save the drive. The problem is the Quantum Bigfoot had such huge platters inside of it that head had to move so far that if you just bang the side of the case or kick the floor like really hard, like jumped up and down, you would actually smash the head in the disk before it could park it. So basically the drive had like no resistance to being smashed around. It was garbage. Ricky said, I still have a Bigfoot and it still works all 12 gigabytes. Dude, that's amazing, man. They're just so shit. They're absolute garbage shit. Android said, how's the Noble chair compared to the DX Racer? There's a lot of things I like and a lot of things I don't like. So I will be doing a review, hopefully here in the next week or two. The things I don't like about it is the fabric doesn't breathe very well. So you do get swamp ass sitting on it for like 4 to 6 hours. The DX Racer definitely breathed better. This one has better ergonomics and has an actual bolster coming out of the back of it that's adjustable, like has an adjustable lumbar that you can change to fit the curvature of your back. And it's actually quite comfortable. The bolsters on the side suit a big guy like me way better than the DX Racer. Like it's definitely a more supportive and ergonomic chair, and it leans back at a slight angle, which I personally don't like because I like to sit on the edge of my seat sometimes. But if you're a person that needs ergonomics, it's definitely one of the more ergonomic gaming chairs out there. It's up height and down height really good. Material quality as far as the stitching and the durability, really, really good. All the handles and stuff are metal. The adjustable like side, the armrests, really, really good. Most adjustable I've ever seen on a gaming chair. Feel really solid too. So I'd say it's better quality than the DX Racer, but the thing I don't like about it is the fabric just isn't very breathable. I don't know. Maybe they make a version that has a more breathable fabric, but this one it doesn't breathe very well. So you tend to get a lot of sweat on your ass, and I don't like that. Oh, Christian, no, I plan to get a Herman Miller eventually. The problem is because my back is so bad, I need a chair that can do this so that I can stretch out my back after every couple of hours sitting here. I can't really do it while I'm live streaming. That's why my back hurts so bad right now. So if Herman Miller made a chair that could do that, I'd buy it in a second. That's literally the only thing that keeps me from getting a Herman Miller is not being able to do that. Let's see here. Review on YouTube's eventually, Hant. Eventually I'll come back to YouTube making videos again. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to end up making a video on BitClout because I'm just watching too many people get screwed over by this scam, and it actually hurts to watch. So, and I've had a lot of friends get screwed by it. I actually got roped into it by a friend who thought that he was doing me a solid until I did the research and sent it to him, and he realized he was fucked over. And then the guy that fucked him over got the data and realized he fucked him over, and it created this whole cascade upstream. But luckily they hit me, or it would have just kept going down, and I would have kept selling it to everybody. So I really want to do a video on that because I feel like there's not a lot of high view, large audience videos on YouTube that are covering this topic right now. And I feel like if I wait too much longer, like too many people are going to get roped into the scam and like lose their money. And you're going to have a lot of, pitchfork carrying people going after celebrities that had no affiliation with the platform even to begin with. It's very, very scamish. It's multi-level marketing, very Ponzi scheme, in that how you're paying somebody for the coins and then you're selling them to somebody else like off grid on Discord or through these back alley websites and shit like that for a value that's nowhere near what you had to pay somebody for the coin. So there's never any risk for that person who's minting the coin because it's all it's all centralized, not decentralized, and it's closed source. So it's a really, really bad scam. Like, I mean, they're already getting, lawsuits against them, cease and desist. I mean, they're going down in flames. And the guy that created the whole platform, unfortunately, he has a history of failed projects in the space trying to do cash grabs. So, I mean, it is going to go down. I don't know how long it'll take, but BitClout is destined to die. And it'll most likely be by court order. So, and keep in mind that it benefits him. If court order shuts the site down and it goes away, he still has $350 million of everybody's money sitting in one crypto wallet because everybody paid him for the coins. Like, what other cryptocurrency do you know that you have to buy the coins with real money from one person who creates them? That defeats the whole purpose of decentralization. The whole point with the cryptocurrency is open source and decentralized, and the coins on the network and their values dictated by supply and demand. Unfortunately, with BitClout, it's not supply and demand at all. It's a guy who just has infinite coins and he sells them to you for $170 a pop because that's what he wants them to be that day. He claims that it's backed by Bitcoin and somehow attached to the Bitcoin algorithm. It isn't. It totally isn't. The price of the coin is the only link that it has to Bitcoin is him justifying that he wants to sell you a coin for 170 and picking a cryptocurrency that he thinks will keep going up in value so that he can somehow explain that his cryptocurrency is in lockstep with it and is worth more too. And it simply isn't true. What other big celebrities are being used on there? Pamela Anderson got screwed. Dane Cook got screwed. The comedian Mark Hamill, I helped him dodge the bullet. So Mark Hamill was hugely grateful yesterday. If you guys don't know, Luke Skywalker from the original Star Wars, he was very thankful that I alerted him to them using his identity and selling his coin and his likeness without his permission. So he notified 5 million of his fans. So I'm really, I've reached a lot of people. There have been a lot of people that have dodged the bullet because of me. Simone Yutz, she dodged the bullet. The Hacksmith, James from Hacksmith Industry, I helped him dodge the bullet. So it's well worth my time. It's well worth my time to, notify these people, even if I could be spending that time somewhere else doing something. I don't like to just sit there and idly let a scam go rip a bunch of people off because I got ripped off. It's like, no, if I can do something about it, I'm going to do something about it. And I've already made a huge dent and I'm going to continue to make a dent. Christian said, quote, Pamela Anderson got screwed. Barnacules 2021. Oh my God. Okay. Poor choice of words. Pedro said, don't know if you know UFD Tech. No, I know UFD Tech. He's a friend of mine. He said, what's your take on Nintendo's harassment of the channel? Honestly, I haven't watched his content in a while. Not because I don't like it. I love his content. I just have limited bandwidth. But no, I didn't know that he was having a beef with Nintendo, but it doesn't surprise me. It genuinely doesn't surprise me. Nintendo is literally the shittiest company in the world to online creators. Like, if you so much as like promote a Nintendo product without their direct permission and them involved, they will come and just shut you down. They're literally like, that's why I don't like Nintendo. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the Switch. I like a lot of the games. I grew up with Mario and everything, but Nintendo abuses their power so much and they overreach so far beyond fair use and they attack their fans constantly, which is like, I don't understand to what end. Like, it just seems really, really fucking stupid to attack your fans the way they do. Ed T said, but that is the clickbait title for the tube video. Oh, should I do that? Should I just make the title of the video Pamela Anderson got screwed, comma, BitClout 2021, D's nuts, $? Should that be the title of the video? And should I just put Pamela Anderson all over the thumbnail, like from her Baywatch days? And like a picture of like Tommy Lee or something with like his hair on fire. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of ways we can go with that video to get millions of views. Because the truth is, I'll clickbait the fuck out of that video because I want to get as many eyes on it as humanly possible. I think it's massively critically important that I do everything I can. If I create a video on BitClout, I need to get as many people to share it and watch it as humanly possible, because the only way BitClout's going to go away is if it gets called out before people get sucked into it. Because the problem is with BitClout is once you're sucked into it and once you've made the investment, you don't realize that you've been robbed blind and that all these fake accounts from the platform bought your coin and artificially boosted your value and you can't sell that and get your money out of it. Once you realize that, it's too late, and then you feel like you have to continue pushing the scam. Because if you start going against it, like I have been on the platform, and you start, they'll ban you off the global feed. They'll prevent people from being able to see your shit. They'll stall the value of your coin, if not kill it. It's basically like a system that punishes any dissent or any question towards the system. And it's highly censored. That's the other thing too, is they claim that it's a decentralized platform, and because it's decentralized, it's owned by the people and it's not moderated. Nope. Every node is owned by them. It's completely closed source. It's all running on machines that only they have access to. They can make any change at any time, and they already have dozens of times. They can dictate the coin cost. You can only buy a coin from them. As far as a newly minted coin, you could buy a resold coin from somebody for less. But no, it's a total fucking scam that benefits one dude. I mean, and technically they're investors too, because they're investors. They're actually cashing out their investors for their coin or paying them on the side. So a lot of the bigger celebrities are getting a payday. Like Jake Paul wouldn't have joined the platform just to get a bunch of fake coins he couldn't sell. The only reason he joined the platform is because they obviously reached out to him. We're like, dude, we will pay you like $1 million if you come over here and start pushing it. And let's be honest. Like, sorry, Logan Paul, not Jake Paul. Let's be honest. Logan Paul has a huge history of pushing shitty products. His brother too, like loot boxes and predatory services and predatory games that are like gambling to kids and stuff like that. They have no fucking ethics when it comes to like pushing something as long as they get their payday. So the fact that they're on the platform does not mean that it's a credible platform. So anyways, I'm going to do what I can to shut it down. So people obviously get to make their choices. If they want to lose their money and they want to get fucked over, then, you know, later on they can come back and tell me, you know, I can say, I told you so. But I'm going to try to save as many as I can. Let's see. What do we got here? You will get the views. Well, I mean, I don't know. BitClout. This is the funny thing about BitClout is BitClout puffs its chest out and says it's really big. But if you go look at the blockchain, there's hardly any transactions. If you refresh the global feed, there's only about maybe 2 posts a minute or 1 post a minute compared to Twitter getting tens of thousands like a minute. It's a very small platform. They just make themselves look big because they created 15,000 fake accounts. And then they created another several thousand accounts that were funded from the Genesis coins that they have various people who are paid to go and just randomly invest the coins that they didn't spend any money on that have no value into these accounts to artificially inflate their price and make it harder for people to buy them, but also to push them up higher in cloud if they're promoting the platform and they're being receptive. Or if they see dissent. Like, did I tell you what happened to me? So I was posting saying the platform was a scam, the platform is a scam. Guess what? 2 of the founders connected to the blockchain came and bought my coin and jacked it up by $150, hoping it'd shut me up. Because they saw that I was showing dissent on the platform. So they came and bought my coin to boost my value so that the bots would see that I was going up and they would buy my coin and boost my value so that it basically looked like I was just shitting on the platform to make my coin worth more. But you could clearly go and see from the blockchain that they were the ones that bought my coin, like purposefully. And I was like, that's some fucked up shit, man. That's some mind games being played. Aeon said you still use 4 TVs as monitors? I sure do. I absolutely sure do. Guys, well, it's 1:12. I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up because I'm going to be honest, I'm pretty damn tired today. So I'm going to go and take a nap. But what I would like you guys to do, is definitely go follow David Hewlett. Thank you so much for him co-hosting today for the majority show. Go follow David Hewlett on Twitter and make sure you wish him a happy birthday tomorrow. So D Hewlett on Twitter. Miss Liz, you can put that in chat. And also, guys, please go do your research on BitClout and get the information out there. If you see anybody, if you see a celebrity or a friend or another content creator that's on YouTube that's thinking about joining this platform, please point them my way. Please link to, or you can even just copy my links and send it to them directly. Let them thank you for giving them the same links that I collected. Give them that information and make sure that they make an informed decision, because right now the entire platform is targeting celebrities who will come to the platform lying to them, thinking that all their peers are on there and they're missing out, when their peers actually didn't join the platform, and then they're all joining the platform because they thought each other already joined the platform. It is a serious mind fuck of a game that they're playing. And unfortunately, even though it's not growing as fast as they thought it would, it's already collected over $350 million in Bitcoin from people who thought that their favorite celebrities and their favorite creators were on the platform. Or I should say 160 million of it was creators that aren't even on the platform. So over half the revenue of Bitcoin that the platform has collected have been for accounts that were stolen identities that don't even exist on the platform. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, fuck BitClout. I'm going to do what I can on my side. You guys keep your eyes out and your ears to the ground and make sure that you do your part. And let's make sure that these crypto scams don't become too successful, because if they do, in the future, people aren't going to trust crypto. And there's been some great crypto services and some great blockchain things that you don't even know you're a part of that are in your daily life right now, improving it, like including like digital signatures on the back end for cryptography and stuff like that, and encryption for websites and stuff that you don't even know is linked to blockchain now. So we need to make sure that these fucking scammers get shut down when they start throwing around terms like decentralized and blockchain when they aren't. I mean, literally, they got outed the other day. Did you see that? Like, I and a couple other people outed them for using Imager as their back end for storing images, because they implied that they stored the images and implied that they were in the blockchain. And then they even said that they have no censorship. Well, fast forward, Imager has a TOS. There's certain things you cannot post on that site, which means if you post and they're storing it on Imager, it's going to just get deleted. So you do have a TOS. You are being censored to what you can post on the platform. So it's total bullshit lie. Go look at the blockchain. Go to explorer.bitclout.com and go fish through the blockchain and look at people's wallets and stuff like that. You'll notice a lot of posts that are being filtered from the global feed. which is the only way to discover people. That's the only, this platform is like Twitter version 0.001. It's like all you can do is it's one giant global feed, and the order of that global feed is dictated by who has the highest value coin. So the founders and the investors are always at the top and everybody else gets pushed to the bottom, and some people just disappear entirely. So thank you for the help, guys. I really appreciate it. Aaron said even water levels are monitored by blockchain now. Yeah, no, dude, it's crazy. Like, go do some research on blockchain. It's not just about the cryptocurrency. Blockchains in general are hugely beneficial to humanity because what they allow you to do, even if you hate NFTs, look at the foundation of what NFT is based on. And what you're going to realize is for the first time in human history, we have a way to create something digital that cannot be replicated. That's impressive. Everything else was, you know, you could copy that floppy. You could replicate that data. You cannot replicate a fake entry into a blockchain. Once it's confirmed, it is 100% guaranteed. There has never been a single cryptographic transaction in Ethereum or Bitcoin history that has been false. There have been people that have hacked the infrastructure around it. There have been people that have hacked accounts and gained access to wallets and private keys to manipulate it. But every single transaction that's in the entire ledger for both, not a single one of them is fraudulent. Meaning that the blockchain did exactly what it does with 100% success across the entire world and billions of transactions. So there's not a single bank in the world that has that same track record. So just keep that in mind, study it, try not to hate on it too much. It's actually, it's pretty interesting. And, touche, and tell people to look at the company's white papers and light papers and the info about everything they're about. Well, no, Aeon, you can't trust the white papers. Go look at the one pager and the white paper for BitClout. They say that they're decentralized, open source, that their coin actually has $170 value. You can sell it, and all your favorite celebrities are on the platform. All 5 of those are lies. The entire white paper is 100% lies. Hey, thank you for the £5. I appreciate that, caged paps. I appreciate that. He said, have a pint, my dude, from Scotland. Hey, I will, man. I'll go find a Mike's Hard Lemonade with some dust on it in the back room and crush it for you later. Dude, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today on Tech Talk. Huge thanks to all the super chatters. Thank you so much for that. That actually really helps out me and AuxxZillary. Also check the video description after the stream for my link over to Twitch, as well as my co-hosts. We stream over on Twitch multiple times through week. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Pacific time over on Twitch, and I usually stream for about 5 to 6 hours ish. And it's a completely different show than what I do here. It's just me and the audience 100% all the time. You guys will probably like it. If you hate it, then you can stick to Tech Talk on here, but we do Tech Talk every Saturday here at 10 a.m. but every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm over on Twitch if you guys want to come find me. Also, just make sure you give me a follow over on Twitch, because if you give me a follow, you'll get a notification when I go live, and you won't show up halfway through the show and be like, I didn't know you were streaming. It'll be awesome. All right, guys, I will see you on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, basically noon, 12 p.m. Pacific, my time, to have some fun. And we'll probably talk a little bit more about BitClout. Hopefully tomorrow I make a video. That's what I'm thinking. Tomorrow I think I need to make a video on this BitClout thing. So I'm going to start creating my notes and my bullet point list tonight, and probably shoot a video tomorrow, because I got to get this information out, because I'm just watching too many people just get drugged through this multi-level marketing scam, and it's personal at this point. All right, guys, take it easy, and I will see you on Monday. If you guys have any other questions you want to ask me when I'm not streaming, come over to Twitter. I'm at Barnacules. It is my most active social network by far. Don't join BitClout unless you create a free account and just verify the phone number. Do not send them Bitcoin. If you want to participate and check it out and do your research, just create a basic account. Do not send them any Bitcoin. Also, post and inform users on the platform that they should not buy your coin, or at least not buy it with coin that they bought with BTC. Otherwise, they're going to lose their money. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you again on Monday. Love y'all. You're awesome. Now I got to find the button. There it is.